to start us off, you both awaken to a cold, hard ground. It's pitch black, except for a little bit of torchlight coming from an off the wall in the distance. Uh, there's no sound. It's quiet. There's no wind, and you get the feeling you're inside somewhere. As you both rouse from your slumber, you hear a slight dripping of water coming off in the distance.
You said it's dark.
It's pitch black. Well, it's not
I
pitch
like to
black. There's torchlights in the distance.
I like to cast light.
Okay. Are you casting it on something or just on your person?
Casting it on myself.
Okay.
Because I can't see anything.
You cast it, and the room is suddenly filled with a blinding white light. If you'd like, now that you both can see each other, you can describe your characters.
I'm gonna have to work on a description for my character.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
that's alright. I'll give it to Manny and Javon in the future.
Okay.
Okay.
Manuel, you can describe your character then.
Alright. I'm
I'm a
5
young
foot
Ty
tall.
though, so
Okay.
go on.
I'm 5 foot tall, slender figure, long dark brown hair, padded armor with a halo imprinted on the chest piece. Skin is grayish pale, eyes red as rubies. As you can see, I am a dark elf.
Okay. As the light fills the room, both of you make perception checks.
Alright.
Alright. First things first.
Leave my dice alone, cat. Bitch. What is that? I think that's an 8. 8 plus.
Okay. 14.
8. I got just an 8 for me.
8 and 14? Okay. There's not much to look at. You're in what looks like a stone chamber about 20 feet across. In front of you are wrought iron bars that stretch not to the ceiling, but pretty close.
So
And
we're in a prison?
you're in a prison, basically. You're also not
Okay.
alone. Off to the side, huddled in the corner, are two figures who, after you cast the light spell, they kind of cover their eyes and they begin to stand.
Question, are either one of them Javon's character or no?
No.
Or you can introduce him later.
I'll introduce him later.
Okay, cool.
One is a dwarf male, and the other is a young human male. They both
Do
kind
they
of,
look hurt?
they are not hurt, but they look scared.
Hmm.
They kind of stand, and the dwarf approaches you after dusting himself off. He looks to you and says, "It's about time you two woke up. You've been asleep for hours. My name is Devin Itan," and he outstretches his hand.
I'm
Aye.
Igneal.
He takes your hand and shakes it. The other one kind of.
Oh, you're looking at me. Oh, yes. My name is Vaughn.
My stomach.
Nice to meet you.
He shakes your hand as well.
What was it? Vaughn?
Yes. Vahn.
My character's name is Igneal.
I know. Fairy tale.
I couldn't come up with anything.
It's not a problem.
The human boy, he kind of looks. He looks like he's about early 20s, late teens, and he's kind of he's shaking right now. He's not doing so well. The dwarf seems much more confident. He still seems. Yes.
Since he's shaking and everything, is he like? He's not injured or anything. Does he look hungry?
He doesn't look hungry, and you do see around where where they were sitting, there are a couple empty plates, so they have been fed.
Okay.
But he kind of says, "My name's Byron Felt," and
Byron.
he kind of he shakingly stretches his hand out.
I will shake his hand
He shakes your hand.
sparingly.
He's very shaky, and he's not too he's not. He looks like he's very scared.
Are his clothes by chance dirty? I mean
Um,
not dirty, torn up,
not really torn up.
raggedy.
He's not well dressed either. He looks like he's wearing common clothes, just a shirt and some pants. The dwarf, on the other hand, looks like he's wearing a nice robe and a golden amulet.
By chance, can I see what the amulet what it is, or something like that?
Make a perception check. Or no, you don't have to make a perception check. He's right in front of you. He's not trying to hide it. It's it looks like a garden pail, like or not a watering can, a golden watering can.
Would I know this?
Make a religion check.
15 plus 7. Wait, no. 15 plus 4. 19.
19. It's a symbol of the gardener, which is one of the many gods that exist. He is thought to be the original god that gave birth to all the other gods. But he and since you rolled so high, you know that the gardener isn't well worshipped anymore because he apparently died a couple centuries ago, or at least that's what people said, because his daughter, the god Terra, took over for him.
I wholesomely smile at the old man.
You bitch.
What?
Not you, my fucking computer.
Oh. I
I thought I had a
wholesomely
separate page open.
smile
I don't know.
smile at the guy. And point to the symbol on my that shows on the chest the chest piece that I'm apparently wearing at the moment.
Okay. He looks at your symbol and nods. He then says, "We've been trapped down here for a number of days. They've been feeding us, but recently they dragged you two in here. And
Do
you
we know
also
anything about why we were dragged down here?
um the last thing you remember is, well, what were you doing before this happened? The last thing you remember is getting something hitting you in the back of the head and everything going dark.
So just whatever we were doing before,
Yes.
and we just okay. So we don't know where we are then.
You have
pretty
no
much?
idea where you are. It's all a mystery.
All I know is
Question:
before I was here-
where are we?
The dwarf kind of shrugs and says, "Well, as far as I can tell, we're underground somewhere. I woke up here too, just after a night of drinking."
No information on our captors.
The boy kind of shakingly raises his hand and says, "I might know something."
Spill it.
He kind of crosses his arms and looks at the ground and he says, "I was dating this girl, and she said that she wanted to show me a secret, and then she guided me out of the town into the desert, and then eventually led me here, where a group of her friends or whatever jumped me and threw me in this cell."
Interesting.
So you're a slave now?
He
Is that what
goes,
you're saying?
because I don't know what I am. They feed us, they take care of us, but they don't harm us in any way. And he says, but we weren't alone. There was another man who was captured too, but he kind of points to the door and says the door is not locked. He just walked off and we haven't seen him since.
So you're telling me that we can just walk out? Would you like to follow me or him? This guy right here.
The dwarf kind of looks at you and says, if you two can get me out of here, I'll pay you handsomely."
That sounds good to me.
You know,
Do we have any weapons
I
on
guess
us,
so.
Logan?
You have all of
Manny?
your gear. You were not
All
stripped
of
of
our gear?
anything.
Okay. But we're in a prison cell, though, right?
You're in some kind of makeshift prison cell underground, yes, as far as you can tell.
All right. Let's see.
Excuse me.
All right. I'll keep that in mind for this.
So what would you guys like to do?
Oh, let's see. I think I'm like the guiding light torch, quote unquote. So, guess I'll walk in front of everybody like a torch.
Okay. The dwarf
Um,
walks over to the door. He just pushes it and it slowly opens.
I'm assuming there's no traps, so I don't have to worry about that. But, can I look to see if there are traps around, just in case?
Okay, make an investigation check.
Oh, nat 20.
Nat 20. There doesn't seem to be any traps. It seems that the door is just unlocked and you're free to leave.
All right. I guess I'll walk out.
I follow.
Okay. As you two exit, you see ahead of you there is a passageway about 6 feet across and 10 feet high that kind of eats away into the rock and disappears into darkness. There are two torches on either side, but other than that, it is pitch black down the expanse.
All right.
The
Is
dwarf
that
kind of looks
this?
to you and says, I'm not a fighter, and neither is the boy here. So you two will have to take point.
I am a giant glowing light stick right now, so I will do that.
He nods.
What about you, Mr. Snake Man?
Wait, what was that?
What about you,
What did Logan
Mr.
say?
Snake?
I said the dwarf says that they're not. The dwarf and the boy are not fighters, so they expect you two to lead the charge.
Fuck. Okay. I stay behind Manny.
Okay.
I don't have
He's
much
the
health, so.
giant light meat shield
Yeah.
active.
What are you again? What class are you again, Manny?
um, from from what you see before you, I look like I'm a ranger.
Oh yeah, you're a ranger.
From what you see, I look like a ranger.
But you might be a cleric or a priest, huh?
That's all if you want to ask or not, and if I tell you the truth or not.
Oh wow. Um, what kind of how do you fight? What's your fighting style? I don't know how you would phrase
Oh,
that question. Sorry.
I have this crossbow that I use in my hand.
Are you proficient in spells?
Well, of course, most rangers are.
Alright. I'm a sorcerer, by the way, so
Oh yeah, kind of
yeah.
sorcerer.
Um,
The
of the stone variety.
stone variety.
Yeah.
What?
Earth magic.
Oh. Oh, okay. I thought you meant by stone variety. You meant like you go wild
No.
or something. All right. Well, you'll see. You'll see. What's before you. Don't worry.
Okay. You guys head into the passage. For the next 10 minutes, the passage just winds left and right, up and down. It doesn't seem like it's carved by man. It seems like it's a natural tunnel that's being used by whoever has captured you. And it just snakes on and on and on until in the distance you see a faint light. And as you get closer, the tunnel begins to expand and open into a large antechamber. You see there are beds laying about the ground, sleeping bags, and sleeping cots. There's a makeshift table in the center of the room strewn about with old food. There are torches on the walls, but they don't do much to illuminate the center of the room. But as you enter, Manuel, or
Yeah, I'm taking point.
yeah,
Like I'm right in front of everybody. As a
as you
moving meat
enter the
shield.
room, Vaughn. I'm gonna try and call you guys by your character's name.
Got it.
You illuminate the whole room, or at least not the whole room, but a large size of it. The room is not too big, but it's much bigger than the room you were in previously. But it also seems to be empty.
All right. It's empty. Is there anything of use around here?
Make an investigation check.
Ooh, nothing. Let's see. Investigation plus that 8.
8. You do a quick once over of the room. It takes you maybe 3 minutes. The beds are empty. There are storage chests in front of the beds, but when you open them, it's just clothes and rags. On the table with all the food, you find some cutlery, but nothing that could be used as a weapon.
I go ahead and look at the kid. Point at him, and then I point at the chest.
He kind of looks at you confused.
I point at him again, and I point at the chest.
He walks over to it and kind of like loosely picks up some of the clothes.
Stay warm.
He kind of looks at you confused and throws on the extra clothes. What would you guys like to do?
Did you say we're in a large room?
It's larger than the room you were in, but it's still pretty small.
I guess I want to make an investigation check. Look for maybe hidden levers or
Okay.
anything kind of like doorways.
Make an investigation check.
I'm
Something that
gonna
would lead to another path of some sort.
I'm gonna give him a little assistance on this because I kind of want to see where we can go from here.
Okay.
And
You
I'm
want me
also
to roll
curious.
twice?
Roll with advantage, Miney. Or
Okay.
Igneal.
Dude, what the fuck did I just drop? Oh, doesn't matter. Oh. Well, we're not gonna find much with this, so... What is investigation again? And where's my character sheet?
Intelligence.
Dude. What did I do with my character? Oh, it's behind my sorcerer, or my... Okay. 4.
4. Even with advantage?
Yeah, I rolled a 4 and a 2.
Okay.
What?
You do a quick once over the room. You don't see any exits, but you do find a dresser up against a wall that stands out to you.
I like to help out the dresser, just because it looks like a dresser.
Okay. As you open it, you're greeted with a cool breeze, and the dresser you see on the other side is hollow, and stretching before you is a small cavern.
I kick the dresser.
Okay, you kick it. It shudders a bit.
Fine. I push it out of the way.
Okay, easy enough. You get on the side of it, you give it one good mighty push, and it falls, topples over, and crashes to the ground, revealing a small doorway. This doorway is much smaller than the one you came through. It's only about 4 feet across and maybe 6 feet tall, so you'd have to walk down it single file.
I look over to Igneal, and I give him a thumbs up. And then immediately start proceeding to what I was doing, going through the whole
I follow in suit.
Okay.
the shield.
Devin and Byron both follow you down the hold as well. This tunnel is just the same. It snakes and winds just like the other one, but it's a lot narrower, and at points you have to turn to your side and shuffle through. But eventually, you do reach. The tunnel widens to about 10 feet across and 10 feet tall, and then stretches out before you into a large antechamber. This time, both of you make perception checks.
All right.
Also, by the way, do the guys that
Oh
we're
my
with,
god.
do they look kind of like more noble or just
The boy
wealthier?
looks
No,
like
or
he's more just an average commoner. The dwarf looks maybe like he has some money because he's wearing finer
okay.
robes and he's wearing a gold amulet.
I just want to make sure he's not lying about being able to pay us handsomely. Um, I
Look,
got a
look.
7 or 8, I think, for my perception.
I
Okay.
can't
No,
make this shit
7.
up. I can't make this shit up, Logan. I got a nat 24.
Okay. Manuel, you see. Miney, you see darkness. Or Ignil, you see darkness. But Vaughn, you
I do
see.
have dark vision, by the
You have
way,
dark
but
vision, so you can
yeah,
see into the room.
I'm still
I just don't
lit
see
up probably
anything
for
of
another
detail.
30. I'm probably lit up for another 30 minutes. Just saying.
Okay. Stretching before you is a large antechamber, maybe 100 feet across and maybe 70 feet high. In the center of the room, surrounded by torches, is a pedestal that raises up about 5 feet and is about 20 feet across. Encircling the pedestal is about 5 hooded figures, all quietly standing and facing the pedestal. Other than that, the room is barren.
They can see us, can't they?
Uh,
Because
they have not noticed you.
huh.
They
Dude,
seem to be
god
deeply in
fucking damn
thought
it.
at what they're current doing.
I'm kind of fascinated because I'm like I'm a flat I'm a, like a f-
Hey,
I'm a,
Logan,
I'm
Yes.
like a strobe light right now.
are you okay with me picking some spells for this first encounter, like for this first session, and I'll go back and pick some spells I really want
That's fine.
after? Okay, because I just don't want to spend my whole time fucking picking spells while we're playing. I want to be able to play, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So,
Um, quickly enough, like with that nat 24, can I tell anything about them, like what they're like doing ritualistically or religiously, quote unquote?
Um, they seem to be in quiet prayer. You can barely hear it, but since you roll so high, you can't make anything out, but you can hear low murmurs and chanting.
All right.
But they seem to be focused on the pedestal itself.
Is there anything about that pedestal that I can see because of the 24?
Um, since you roll so high, you can see that there is dried blood on the sides of the pedestal, and there seems to be a body resting on top.
Um, by chance, can I make a history check? Not history check, religion check
Go
on this
ahead.
by chance, or okay. Wow, I suck in life. Wow, I got a 7.
7. You can't from this distance. You can't make out what type of ritual they're performing, but you get the feeling that it is not a good ritual since there's a body on the pedestal. You get the feeling it's a dark ritual.
Ooh, all right. So I immediately turn over, look at the 3 people behind me, whisper straight into Ignil's ear, "Hey, I think these people are gonna kill us, and we're being locked up just to be killed."
so it sounds like we need to escape.
Yeah, I don't want to really, freak them out because they because the little kid is probably
Do
hyperventilating for some
you
weird
do
reason.
you happen to see an exit?
Um,
Make a perception check if you'd like to look. Or Manuel, your
Me
24
and
was a perception check, right?
yes, it
yeah.
On
was.
the other side, you can see there is a tunnel, but it's got 2 large wooden doors that are currently barred
From this side or that side?
from the side you are on. You could lift them, but it would take some strength.
Don't worry. I can lift twice my body weight.
Uh,
Uh, um, I'm gonna go ahead and is it possible for me to sneak?
Um,
If I
as as you're
if I
about to
cancel,
sneak,
I'm gonna cancel my light real quick
okay,
first.
as you're about to sneak, you do see 2 of the figures kind of turn and look in your direction.
I immediately go ahead and say meow.
Make a deception check.
1, 2, 3. I can pick 3 more spells for now.
13.
13. They kind of look at you. They turn to their fellows, and then all the figures turn and face you. As they turn to face you, the body on the table starts to writhe and shake. And you can see that it's the arms and legs start to kind of shrivel and kind of fall off. The body itself kind of bloats and grows in size. And the head kind of stretches out and elongates into a large toothy maw.
I immediately cast Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame? Centered on the centered on what?
On the corpse thing that's freaking the shit out of me.
Okay. Go ahead and cast Sacred Flame, and then I need everybody to roll initiative.
Alright.
Alright.
1, 2, 3, 4. I need 2 more spells for now.
See, the target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw. Actually, does it have disadvantage since it's like right now getting ready to attack? Take a form?
I'll give it disadvantage, yeah. So it has to make it with disadvantage, so I'll roll twice. It's a dexterity, you said?
Yeah, and it has to beat my DC, right?
It rolled an 11.
15. It had to beat a 15.
So it fails, so it takes full damage.
Alright. Target must succeed on that. Okay, if they don't take 1d8 of radiant damage, the target gains no benefit from cover for the saving throw. The spell damage increases by 1d8. And you reach 5th level. Okay, so it's 2d8s. Cool. That's all I need to know.
You needed
7
initiative, Logan?
Yes, initiative.
Alright, 14 damage. 14 radiant damage, Logan.
Radiant damage? Okay, that's good to know.
13 initiative, by the way. I think, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so roll. Wow. Life sucks. This is going into jail. That's a 9.
9.
Plus 9 plus 1. Yeah, 10.
Okay. Up at the top is the creature on the pedestal. You can see it kind of writhes and shakes a bit, and new limbs start to pop. 6 limbs pop out on each side, or 3 on each side, a total of 6. They kind of right itself on top, and the head, which stretches out and looks almost like a maggot's head, kind of like swoops around, locks onto you, and jumps off the pedestal.
Oh, God.
It runs about. It dashes all the way to you, but that's its turn.
So, is it on top of me?
It's not on top of you, but it's right in front of you.
Like, how close?
Oh, actually, it doesn't need a dash. It gets right in front of you, and it's going to make 2 attacks, one with its bite and one with its tail.
Alright.
So did Manny make a surprise attack or something? Is that what happened?
He hit before it did anything.
Okay. Sorry.
Its bite is a natural 20.
Oh, God. I throw up.
So you take...
A natural 20?
Yeah.
I threw up a little bit.
That's not good.
You take 13 points of piercing damage. And
that's
then it's
doubled, right?
That is doubled. 13 is doubled.
Okay, I just want to make sure on that.
And a 17 to hit. Does a 17 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that hits. Then you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as its toothy maw stretches out, bites into your chest, and then releases, and it spins around and whacks you in the face with its tail.
I'm not looking good. Alright.
Okay.
Next up is you, Igneal.
Alright. One sec. So attack modifier is your proficiency bonus plus your charisma. So 3 plus 7. Alright, so I'm going. How far is it from me?
It's right in front of the both of you.
Um, so like within 5 feet then.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast. How many of them are there, by the way? Sorry.
There's 5 hooded figures and then one of these strange maggot-like hounds.
Alright, I think I'm gonna cast haste on Manny.
Okay.
Is that an action, right? Yeah. Speed is doubled and gains a +5 bonus to AC.
+5 to my AC. Oh my. I won't die as fast.
Doesn't hit it it let him have an addition. Yeah, it gains an additional action on each of its turn. All right, so I go ahead and cast haste on Manny.
Okay.
On Vaughn.
Yes,
One
Vaughn.
of my spell slots, and that is the end of my turn.
Okay. Vaughn, you're up next. The creature has just bit into you and pounded you with its tail. What would you like to do?
So you said I have an extra action.
Yes. Haste gives you an extra action.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and
If you can look up haste, like so you know what it's doing for you.
I got my
instead of
player's
using it
handbook.
off to- Oh no, I was telling for Manny.
Oh.
I rub my hands together, such not, and I go ahead and use Sacred Weapon.
Sacred weapon. Okay.
And the form of the weapon takes the shape of a giant Tim Allen's hammer.
Okay.
Wait, what did he do?
Spiritual weapon.
So
It
he
takes
is
the
a
shape.
he's a fucking liar, is what he is.
You didn't insight check me.
Either that or you're fucking multi-classing.
You didn't insight check me, so you don't know.
It does seem strange that this ranger is performing spells like this, but you don't know.
Neil is just baffled. He's so confused right now.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So that's one action manual. You have an action and a bonus action.
Wait,
No, he has 2 actions.
Spiritual weapon. That's what.
Spiritual weapon is an
Haste
action.
gives him. Oh.
I didn't say. I thought I said sacred weapon. Okay, good. It's spiritual
But
weapon.
he should be able to attack again. Cause
yes.
He with haste he has 2 actions. Sorry.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and attack with my crossbow, and I'm gonna do a melee.
Okay.
You're gonna melee with a crossbow?
It's more silly than you think it is. 18.
18 will hit.
All right. I gotta roll a d6 now. That's a total of 7 damage.
Okay. You smack it with your crossbow. It kind of recoils at you and lets out a low guttural growl. You still have your bonus action.
I guess I'll attack with my spiritual weapon, the Hammer of Tim Allen.
Okay.
Let me see. Fuck, where was the page for it?
What is this, tool time?
Yes, it is tool time. Okay, let's see. As bonus action on your turn, you can move the weapon below 20 feet and repeat the attack against a creature within 5 feet of it. The weapon can take whatever form you choose. Cool. Alright, but wait. But, like, what damage? Okay, so I'm gonna go based off the damage of a mace. If it's since it's a hammer, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Because, yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna attack with the spiritual weapon.
Okay, make your attack.
Wow. Natural 2.
Natural 2. You go to swing, the creature it flips on its legs and dodges out of the way and then rights itself.
Alright, and that's all my moves, right?
Yes, that's all your turn. Unless you'd like to move.
Alright. I'm not gonna move. I'm
Okay.
gonna stand where I'm at.
Up next to the hooded figures, they kind of all just cross their arms and watch, and you hear one of them kind of shout, "Let the beast have its fun," and they kind of just stand there watching. It is now Byron's turn. He's going to pick up a rock off the
Okay.
ground and throw it at the creature.
2 bonus. Okay.
Ooh, that's a natural 18
Natural 18 on with a rock.
with a rock.
What
Jesus.
the?
He does 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
What the fuck? Oh my god, that's funny.
And after he throws the rock, it hits the creature, and the creature kind of shakes its head and it doesn't have any eyes, but it looks directly at him. Up next is
Um,
Devin, who's going to turn around and run down the tunnel.
All right, good. I'm glad he's not trying to kill himself. By chance, since by chance, do either of us know what this creature is? Knowing that it
If
has
you'd
no
like
eyes?
to, you both can make a nature check.
All right. Wow.
Hmm.
What? I just threw this dice in jail. I was not paying attention. 5.
5.
What do you use for nature? Oh, intelligence. 13.
13. You both have never heard of something like this. It looks completely otherworldly. It's about 7 foot across. It looks like a worm with a toothy mouth, and then 3 legs on each side, a total of 6. It has no eyes, and it's a pale greenish color. But you've never heard of anything like this before.
Hmm.
That's the end of Devin's turn. It is now the creature's turn. It's gonna push past you, Manuel, and go for Byron.
I take an opportunity to attack,
Okay.
and I cast a magic spell with my war mage ability.
Okay. What do you like to
Does it go
cast?
past me as well?
It,
or-
it squeezes between the both of you.
Also,
So
it
can
went
I make
past,
an attack of
Yes, you would have an attack of opportunity as
Okay.
well.
and also opportunity attack with my my hammer up to Malin, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Give me a quick sec.
I can't remember. That doesn't take away from my action, my turn, right?
No.
Hmm. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'll cast Sacred Flame.
Okay. So starting with Manuel or Vaughn, you cast Sacred Flame. It has to roll Dexterity, right?
Yes.
That's a natural 4, so it fails.
All right, and that's 2d8 damage. Yummy, yummy, yummy damage. Here you go. Here it is. 12 damage.
12 damage.
Yep. Radiant damage.
It's good to know. It kind of writhes after getting hit, but it shakes it off and continues charging. But your hammer does go too.
I'm gonna go ahead and attack now. Man, this hammer does not seem to want to hit. Wow. 6.
6. The creature just jumps out of the way as the hammer slams into the ground. Igneel, you're up.
So for my attack of opportunity, I got a 12.
12 will not
Did I
hit.
hit? Okay.
So the
So
creature
now it's my turn.
it's still the
go.
creature's turn. It pushes by both of you, taking hits, but it does make its way to Byron. It's going to make 2 attacks against him. That's a natural 20 and a natural 17.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's dead.
I don't need to roll anymore. Oh, actually, I might. He rolled a 1, so 1 times 2 is 2. And then with his tail, 5, so 7 points of damage. It leaps onto Byron, digging its teeth into his neck and rips out his throat. Byron clutches at his throat and begins
That's
gagging.
the kid, right?
That's the kid.
Okay, he doesn't matter then.
It's the kid?
It's the
Oh,
kid.
God.
Yeah.
The guy who
not
offered
the
to
guy
pay
paying us.
you ran down the tunnel.
Oh, okay,
You little
okay.
bitch. Oh, we're gonna find him.
Alright, don't worry. We have a whole minute to save this kid. Don't worry.
He's clutching at his throat, gagging as the creature kind of chews on what it's got and spits it out on the ground. Ignil, you're up.
Is the kid dead?
Yes. He clutches at his throat, and then a few seconds later, his arms kind of go slack, and he just kind of lays there quietly.
Okay. How far are the group of wizard sorcerer guys, whatever they are?
They're about 20 feet away from you in a pyramid shape, because they're circling
Okay.
the clown.
How many of them are there? Did you say?
There are 5.
In a pyramid shape. When you say it's pyramid shape, are you saying like they're standing on top of each other like a pyramid shape?
No, they're like an arrow. They kind of stretch out around the pedestal, so they're looking at you like a flying V.
Ah, I get you.
Alright, so I'm going to. I'm thinking. Sorry, hold on.
You're fine.
Fire. If I use haste on myself, would I be able to move and then cast another spell, or?
The haste would wear off on Manuel or Vaughn,
Oh,
and
fuck.
you would not. I think it only takes effect. Let me read it. Let me read it real quick.
It doubles
Might
your.
only let me attack twice
It'll
with a
double
weapon.
your
I don't think I can attack with
speed.
spells.
It says this action can only be used to take the attack, one weapon attack only, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object action. So you would not be able to cast another spell.
Okay.
Okay, so what would you like to do?
I'm going to. I know. I'm gonna cast erupting earth.
Okay.
Let me look at the spell. It's a level 3 spell. I gotta roll dice for it. Hold on. Okay, so choose a point you can see on the ground within range. A fountain of churned earth and stone erupts in a 20-foot cube centered on that point. Each creature in that area must make a dexterity saving throw. The creature takes 3d12 bludgeoning damage on a failed save. Additionally, the ground in that area becomes difficult terrain until cleared. And then, yeah, okay. I'm casting at level 3.
3? Okay.
So
So they have to make deck. Are you
that's
centering it on
what it is.
the cultists? Or yes, the cultist?
Cultist.
Okay. So let me make deck saves for all of
I
them.
want to try and hit all of them, so.
That's going to be dex, so a 16.
He beats mine.
Okay.
Save.
Natural 1, so that's an automatic failure. Natural 20, so another success. 12, so that's a failure, I think.
That's a failure. I have a 15 for my
And
spell
a 14. So 3 fail, 2
Fails.
succeed.
Yeah. And it's 3d12, so let me roll. 12s. What the fuck do the d12s look like? It's a weird shaped dice, yeah. Alright. I need better lighting in my room. It's hard to see when I open the box. That was shit roll. 20 damage.
20 total?
No, not 20. Sorry. 16.
16? So 3 of
Yeah.
them, the earth explodes around them. 3 of them are immediately buried under rubble and are just killed outright. The other 2, you said 16?
Yeah.
The other 2 The other two look really bad. They like kind of pull themselves out of the rubble. They're holding wounds, but they look really bad. And you see them, the two of them kind of pull out daggers shakily and point them at you. But that's the end of your turn, unless you'd like to move.
Oh. I think I'm gonna get closer to them. Will I
Closer?
take an attack of opportunity from the monster?
No, it's about 10 feet behind you.
I'm gonna get closer to them, like probably like within 5 feet.
Okay.
And that'll be then my turn.
That's 25 feet forward. You're now
Get off
about...
my paper, you little bitch.
You're between the two of them.
Alright.
Okay, that's the end of your turn. Vaughn, you're up.
All right. Let's see. So this is the turn after he died, right?
The kid?
Yeah,
Yeah, he is dead.
after the turn. Okay, so let's see. That means we have a total of 10 turns till then. Got it. Well, total 9 more turns. That's all I need to know. Thank you for giving me this knowledge. I'm going to go ahead and yeah. I'm gonna move my spiritual weapon over there. Is it like within a 20 feet radius for me to move it over there?
Yes, he's only 10 feet behind you.
All right, I move my sacred weapon over there, and I have it swing real quick.
Okay.
What the fuck? God damn it! 8.
8. It swings wide, and the creature kind of like just dodges out of the way. You still have another action though because of the magic or the haste.
The action where my spiritual weapon moves and attacks. That's one
Oh,
whole action actually.
that's a bonus action.
No, it was like one. It says right. It says for the spiritual weapon, it's like one whole action. Unless I misread it.
Let me look.
I think I might have misread it.
It's a bonus action.
Okay, so it's a bonus action.
So you still have 2
Okay,
actions.
Okay, so I do still have. Okay, I'd like to cast Sacred Flame. I'm gonna do it twice.
Okay. Sacred Flame is a spell. Haste.
Cantrip.
It's a cantrip. I know, but you can only attack with the bonus. The bonus action you're given can only be an attack. It can't be a spell.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay,
it can.
okay.
So I think you can cast a spell, but I think with the second action, it has to be a weapon
Yeah.
attack.
So
You're
with your
attacking.
Okay.
with your
Okay.
primary action, you can use Sacred Flame or whatever it's called.
Okay. And I'll close in and then I'll attack with my crossbow
Okay.
and hit him with a melee attack.
Make a melee attack.
Does he have some
Damn.
special crossbow, or is he just hitting him with a fucking crossbow?
He's
From
hitting
what
him.
it looks, why don't you make a perception
Yeah.
investigation on what I'm doing?
Make an investigation.
God damn it. 7.
7.
From what-
It
from
looks.
what it looks like.
It looks like he's using a
like
crossbow.
Yeah.
It's not. Okay, god damn it. I hate all of you. Logan knows. Logan fucking knows, and I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I talked to
And
him
I hate
about
it.
this. 11.
11. 11 misses.
God. God. Okay then, Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame. So it makes a dexterity saving throw.
Yes.
That's natural 19 plus 0, so 19.
So it takes half the damage from Sacred Flame.
Okay.
Okay, so half of 15. Does it take the higher of the half or the
Yes, it
lower?
takes the higher, so it takes 8.
Okay, 8 damage. Radiant damage.
Yes, good to know. The creature kind of the impact hits it. It kind of falls to the ground, It flips over on its side, its legs catching itself. It looks at you and growls. But that's the end of your turn. It is now the
Yes.
cultist, who, minding you, have moved within range. So they pull out their daggers.
Hmm.
Or they, I'm
Um,
sorry, scimitars.
Scimitars? Ooh.
So the first attack is a 6, 3 plus 3. So that misses. I'm going to use a different dice. The next attack is a natural 19. So that's 22. So you take,
that hits.
yeah, you take 5 points of slashing damage as he kind of rakes it across your chest.
5 points of slashing.
Yeah, 5.
Alright,
That's the end of their turn. Byron is still dead on the ground, and Devin is just gone. He's run down the tunnel you came from back towards the cell, and he's just out of sight.
Don't worry. I'll be back for him.
It is now the
I just
creature's
come
turn
back.
again. The creature's going to make 2 attacks against you again. That's a 13 to hit,
Because of the +2 on the AC, it's 15.
so that
For me.
misses. And the second one is a 14.
I lucked out twice.
Okay, so it
Nice.
goes to bite you. It impacts on your armor, but it doesn't pierce. And when it goes to hit you with your tail, you just raise your arm up and catch it midair.
I look over, I peer over to Igneel, knowing that he's not paying attention to me because he has his own fight, and just think to myself, thank God.
Okay.
Thank God for what?
You giving me haste kept me from dying.
Oh, got you.
Okay, it is now your turn, Igneel.
Okay, I'm going to they're both within range of me, right? Did you do an action for both of the guys or
Yes, each of them
one of them?
attacked.
Did I get hit twice or only once?
You only got hit once. It was 5.
Okay, sorry. I didn't I'm zoning out a little bit when I'm listening, so I'm going to I think I'm gonna cast Thunder Wave.
Okay, Thunder Wave.
In a 15-foot cube of originating from you. Okay, so I'm gonna cast it at level 2, I think. Right, yeah. Because I want more damage. Because I'm sure these guys will die, but just in case I roll bad. So they make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that one bounced out of the box. That's a 16 and a 15, so plus 0, so 15 and 16.
Alright, so they're both. If they get a 15, do they save? Like, cause my spell save is 15. So
Um,
do they make the save when they get a 15?
I'm gonna say no. So they fail. So one fails, one succeeds.
Fuck, dude. I'm not gonna kill either one of them. Wait, no, I still have one more roll. Get out of here, cat. No one likes you. So 8 damage.
8 damage. They're both
Yeah.
blown. They're just blown clear of you. One of them, an arm flies off. He screams in pain as he hits the ground and just goes silent. The other one hits the ground,
Oh,
rolls
God.
for a bit, and then just lays there still.
Oh
Do
my
I,
God.
I kind of wanted to keep one of them alive so we could find out.
Okay.
But, that
you
works, I guess.
You can specify
d-
the one who hits the make a perception check.
Don't worry. I have my
Okay.
ways of bringing back the dead.
Dude, I need to stop rolling this d20. I got a 7.
7.
Believe me, I stopped rolling my d20.
You need
I
more
like the color
dice.
of the dice, though. I have more dice.
You need a bag of dice.
I do have a bag of dice. Shut up.
I'm like a shit ton of dice.
Okay.
Alright.
With a 7, they both look dead, but what you do notice is the one who hit the ground with his arm flying off, his body almost rapidly decays and putrefies, and it slowly sinks into the ground until all that's left is the cloak and the
Hmm.
scimitar. And you at this point you do notice
Ew.
that the other cultists, their bodies have also vanished, leaving just behind their clothes and scimitar. But the one who got knocked away is still kind of laying there on. He hasn't disappeared yet, so you get the feeling that he's not dead.
Has anything happened to the monster after killing all the cultists?
No, it's still standing.
I think that's the end of my turn. I don't
That's
think
the
I
end
can
of
do
your
anything
turn.
with the bonus action.
Vaughn, you're up.
How far is that monster from me, actually?
30 feet away.
I'll stay where I'm at. I'm not trying to get hit.
All right, my turn.
Yes.
Okay, it should be in the range of my sword, my spiritual weapon,
Yes, it
and
still is.
also me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the 3 things I'm gonna do again. Sacred Flame, hit him, and then spiritual weapon will hit him.
Okay, go ahead.
Hopefully I don't fuck myself. Nat 20 on my spiritual weapon.
Okay.
Thank God. D6. Is it since it's a spiritual weapon, is it radiant damage or is it what damage is it?
I believe it's force damage. I could be wrong. I don't know if it specifies.
Let's see.
I think.
It's force damage.
It's force damage?
On a hit, the
Okay.
target takes force damage equal to 1d8.
Force damage equal to 1d8.
You're
Okay.
casting at it's 1d8. I'm just reading.
Spiritual weapons OP, dude. Clerics are. He's a cleric, right?
You don't know. You can surmise.
Well, whichever one can cast spiritual weapon are like powerhouses, dude. Jesus.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm enjoying myself, Viney. Too
No, you're
much.
fine. I like killing multiple things with spells, like with AoE spells.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so
Wait, why was I rolling a d6 this whole entire time? It's fucking retarded.
I can't wait till we get to
Wow.
level 6 because I get a really cool
If
class
you survive that
ability.
long.
Let's see.
I will.
5. Okay, so that's gonna be a total of 12 force damage.
12 force damage. The creature kind of turns and hisses at you. Your hammer just with one swift
Wait.
motion.
Oh wait, no wait. 5, double 5, and it's 10 plus 7, 17. My
17.
bad.
That's still fine. Your hammer just smashes it into the ground. It digs a little into the ground. It tries to stand up, and your hammer just comes down again and again and again until it's just nothing but paste.
Ooh.
And then it
Damn,
eventually
it's dead.
starts to dissolve as well.
Who's alive and who? And I already know who you said is dead. So wait, who's alive left?
I think everything's dead. That we're fighting.
Look, is that everybody?
That's everybody.
Okay.
And you turn the monster to paste, so.
Before the minute is up and everything, like as soon as I do that, I immediately cast Revivify on the little boy, and then I immediately use Cure Wounds on him.
Okay, he's not a little boy. He's like in his 20s. But you cast Revivify.
To
You
me.
see his eyes kind of open and they shine for a moment. His wound around his throat starts to close up and seal. He kind of sits up immediately and just kind of looks around frantically.
I use Cure Wounds on him. They heal him.
Okay.
Which I also let's see. I'm not saying it. Never mind. But let's see. Where was it? Okay. Fine. Cure Wounds. Where you at?
As Vaughn is doing this, Igneal, what would you like to do?
I'm going to just start looting corpses. I don't know if those guys that disappeared had anything. I also want to loot the monster corpse. I also want to see if I can
Didn't
I want
the
to see like what it
monster
has,
actually
but I
dissipate?
also did it dissipate or was it just a cultist?
It dissipated too. After it was smashed to
Fuck.
paste, you could see it kind of melt and vanish to the ground.
I was gonna try and see if I could get some of his paste into a vial. Never mind.
Okay, make an investigation check as
Alright.
you loot the bodies.
1d8.
I got a new dice, didn't
8 plus
I? There we go.
13
16.
plus
16? You find a total of 84 silver pieces amongst all of them.
Jeez.
Okay, Logan, I gave him I healed him for 22 HP.
He's looking great. He stands up and kind of like he looks a little shaken, but he looks like he's in good health now.
I go ahead and get to his level. Look
Okay.
him straight in the eyes, and I tell him, "You did good, kid. You did good."
He kind of nods and a smile creeps across his face. Miney, along with the 84 silver pieces, you also find on each corpse, well, there's no corpses, but in each one, you find a single iron band that encircles, it looks like almost like a worm or a maggot that encircles itself and is eating its own tail. Each one had one of these bands.
With bands that were eating their tail?
It's a ring, and it looks like it's eating its own tail.
The ring?
It's a ring.
Can I try and see what the fuck this thing is, or no?
Make an Arcana check.
Arcana? Okay.
All right. I go up to Igneal
His intelligence. Dude, I have no fucking intelligence bonus. It's so annoying.
ever so calmly and stealthily in my own dark-skinned self.
What's the point of being proficient in something if you don't even get any bonuses for it?
Logan, I touched the back of Igneal's neck, and I cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
For my Arcana check, I got an 11. Logan.
An 11? The ring is innately magical. You don't know of anything similar to this, but you get the feeling that it is associated with whatever cult you're dealing with. But it looks like a worm or a maggot eating its own tail.
All right,
Mm.
Igneal, you've been healed for 24 HP.
You know, I only took 1 hit of 5 damage, right?
Oh. Well, you've been healed. here's what happens. Here's the flavor of it all. All of a sudden, you notice for some reason your skin becomes nice and shiny, like you are a newborn.
By the way, does haste have any effect on him since
The time
its effect probably ended by now? or-
Yes, it's now ended.
Same as my sacred weapon. The hammer flies off into the distance and disappears.
So it says when the spell ends, the target can't move or take action until its next turn. And that doesn't matter. I guess if it's not in combat.
The hammer immediately you hear in the background. It's tool time. It dissipates.
Alright,
It's up to one. It's up to 1 minute, so it has worn off.
I'm gonna also
So-
cure wound. I'm gonna cure wounds myself.
I
Okay.
couldn't find anything else more about. Like, does it look magical, Logan? The ring?
It does look innately magical.
And would I be able to tell if it requires an attunement or anything?
You could slip it on your finger.
That's what I was thinking about. I'm just going to go ahead and
Wait,
put it on.
wait.
No, it's too
wait,
late.
uh,
I already
fine.
did it.
19.
19 to heal yourself. Okay.
Yep.
As you
That's
slip
up
it
to
on your finger, Miney,
47.
there's a slight tinge of pain, and the ring you see the maggot actually start to rotate around your finger, and then stop.
Was there anything bad about that?
You don't know.
Chance that I would. Can I possibly make some specified inspection on him?
There are four other rings you can look at. He only put one on his finger.
Wait, what are
I'm
they?
gonna-
Do they all look the same?
They all look the same.
Like all.
I inspect the ring. I'd like to inspect this ring.
Make an investigation check or an arcana check, depending on what you'd like.
Arcana.
Okay.
Because I already know these are magical if that ring started curling on him. I know what's up. Okay. That's a total of 18.
18. It is innately magical. You can't discern exactly what type of magic it is, but you get the feeling that it's transmutation.
Quick curiosity.
That
Is there
might have
any
been
specified?
bad.
Is there any specified symbol on it that is religious or anything?
It just looks like a maggot eating its own tail.
All right. So you know what? Since I don't know what this ring does or anything, and I'm really concerned for the comrade that I just saw right here, put a ring without even thinking about it. I'd like to dispel magic on the ring.
Okay.
By the way, before that, do I feel any different? Like,
You don't feel any different. You get the feeling that you might have to attune to it to get its full effect.
can I attune to it?
If he doesn't
Do I have to
dispel
take
it,
a rest for that? Or...
Wait.
it's an hour to
Actually-
attune.
I
Actually,
grab his wrist and I tell him to just wait. Let's see what it does first.
Okay.
If it's bad, then you can dispel it.
And if you die, I'll just bring you back to life. You got a point.
As you both are talking, you hear grunting, and you see that the other cultist, the one who survived, is slowly trying to crawl away.
I walk up to him and I
walk
step
up-
on him.
Oh.
I step on him with all my
I was gonna
strength.
say I was gonna stab my spear into his cape so he couldn't move.
Okay, Manuel, you plant your foot on his back. He kind of and stops. He then rolls over and faces you. He's got blood trickling out of the corner of his mouth. His eyes are bloodshot, and he looks really bad.
Is he about to die? Kind of feel.
Yes, he's like at 1 hit point.
Well, I mean, if you don't
Like,
rough him up a little bit, it'll be
Is
fine.
he okay? Can I do a medicine thing? A medical check thing
Yes,
on him?
to stabilize him.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So with that, 13.
13.
Yes. 13.
You kind of like make a makeshift tourniquet around his arm, and you basically stop all his bleeding, and he kind of just sits there the whole time you're doing this. He's just glaring at you, just staring you down.
I go
Watch,
ahead
these
and
are the good guys. No, I'm just kidding.
I stare him down too, giving him complete eye contact.
Okay.
And as this is going on, I decide to drop my disguise to look even more intimidating.
Okay. So now you can describe what you really look like.
God damn it, dude.
All right, so seeing this 5 foot tall guy immediately spurt up to 8 foot tall. Strangely, going at about 255 pounds. He has reddish gray skin, dark brown hair, eyes are pale blue. Clothes he's wearing are white robe with golden trim, held together with a belt that has a halo as the symbol for the buckle. As you can see, this person is a firbolg, a firebolg to be precise.
Okay.
And I like to cause him a little disarray just to tell him just to make him stop his glaring.
Make an intimidation check.
Is that like with advantage or not?
I'll give you advantage because you just transformed in front of him.
Okay. Sweets. And that's probably not gonna do it. 12.
12. He kind of just glares at you and spits onto the ground.
All right. I go ahead and I pick him up and face him towards to Igneal.
Okay.
I don't know. Wait, what's your height, anyways?
Let's say like, I think the average is 4'8", so I'd say probably like 5'4" would be I'm above average height for him.
So you're pretty short, especially
Yeah.
compared to Vaughn. The cultist,
I
you pull back the hood of the cultist, and it is a woman. She's got strawberry blonde hair pulled into a ponytail. She has light blue eyes and very angry look on her face. Her scimitar is laying across away from her, and ow. And she just kind of stares you both down, but she's still holding her side.
well, she can't really stare me down since I'm holding her and I'm right behind her.
She stares down Igneal.
Why were we
I-
taken here?
She kind of looks at you and says, "For sacrifice
Sacrifice
Oh.
for what?
to the leech.
Can I make a religion check on that?
Make a religion check. You can make one as well, Mining, if you'd like."
Alright.
With that, I got a 22.
22. You've heard of the leech, but only in whispers. The leech is an ancient god that's been around for a long time, almost as long as the gardener and Terra. But it is known throughout the land as an illegal god. It is not to be worshipped. It is not to be spoken of. It is to be shunned and cast out.
Oh, so you're those people. Now that I think about it.
The leech
I got
basically,
an 18, by the way.
with an 18, you would know this as well. The leech itself is it lives down in the hells and is known to just eat corpses. That's all it does. Is it feeds on corpses.
So with this reaction and everything, should I look at Igneal. Do you want me to dispel that for you? Or not?
What's this ring do?
She goes, "It connects us to the leech." And she holds out her hand, and you can see there's one wrapped around her finger. It's a little bigger and a little bloated, and her finger looks like it doesn't look like she's in pain, but it looks like the ring is digging into her hand. She kind of
Are you
points.
about to,
She
are you
points.
about to die?
She shakes her head and points over to the other cultist. "When we die, the ring takes us. There's no chance for us to come back.
Do you want to live
Takes
still?
you where?
Takes us to the leech, to be his food."
Do you want to live still, or do you want to be his food?
She kind of looks at you and looks down at the ring and says, "I've made my choice."
Do you want me to get rid of this chance of dying?
She shakes her
and
head
let
no.
you Straight.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion check. Fuck. Please. Oh no, that's not gonna be helpful. 10.
10. She rolled a 10 as well.
We reroll again.
Yeah, reroll, contested roll.
All right. This is gonna suck. I swear to fucking God. I swear to fucking God. Please. Oh. 21.
21. She kind of grabs the ring and she pulls it off her finger, peeling away skin, and it takes it and throws it on the ground. And she looks at you and says, "I choose life." And you can see Byron is kind of standing there just staring at her, staring daggers at her.
She just took the ring off.
She took it off, but it peeled away some of her skin.
I go ahead and look her in the eyes, and I immediately go ahead and grab the symbol on my belt. And
Okay.
tell
Take the
her,
ring off too, by the way, Logan.
Okay, you slip the ring off. It doesn't hurt you at all. It slips off and you're just holding it now.
I go ahead and show it to her face. Do you believe in God?
She goes, "I believe in gods, yes."
Would you take in the love of Tetra and
Terra.
not Tetra, Terra, and be part of her disciples, come to the church, and start your life anew?
Make a persuasion check with advantage because you succeeded on the other one.
Oh God. 15.
She kind of looks and she hangs her head low and says, "I will."
All right. Young man, I'm assuming you have some basically spite with this girl. Just how you're staring at her. I'm assuming this is her.
This is the girl that led me here. She pretended to be my girlfriend for a few months and then led me here to be sacrificed.
How would you feel if you guys started anew? Took in the light of Tetra.
You can see
Terra. God damn it!
he kind of looks. He looks her over, and he just nods his head quietly.
I brought you back to life. I brought her back into the light. Terra is with us.
After a few minutes, you do hear footsteps, and you see Devin peek his head out, and he's like, "Is it safe to come out now?"
Yes. God has
Yes.
a new disciple.
He kind of comes out and says, "I'm sorry I ran away, but I'm not much of a fighter."
Oh, what the fuck?
Don't worry.
Okay.
You owe us a lot.
He nods his head, and then we'll take a quick break. I need to go grab a drink.
Okay. I'll go ahead and take this call real quick. Just to tell him I say no, that I'm not working today. And I tell him already ahead of time.
I'm back. Hello?
Oh,
I just cut myself on the fucking. I stubbed my toe.
why'd you do that?
I didn't mean to.
Dude. So damn hot.
Where'd Manny go?
Taking that phone call.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh wait, I think I used another email.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, sorry about that.
You're all good.
I was just reassuring with her that I'm not coming in today.
Okay.
Told her I already had plans set up. I already told her like 2 days ahead of time too. She understood. I'm glad.
Okay. So to continue, Devin has reemerged. The girl.
Oh wait, Logan.
Yes.
I need to ask Mighty the person, not Mighty the Igneel character. So Mighty, how'd you feel about my character, like switching on you like that?
Oh, I don't care.
Did it surprise you or anything?
Uh, sure.
Man, damn. If only Javon was here, I feel like I would get a reaction out of him. Damn it.
What?
All right. I was just doing it to catch you guys off guard. Also, when I do change form and everything, my what looked like a crossbow turns into a mace. I forgot to put that out there.
Okay. Now, as Devin reemerges, the girl, still looking pretty beat up, she kind of is talking to Byron, and they seem to be connecting.
Right now, quickly enough before anything stupid happens, I like to cure wounds her too,
Okay.
just in case. All right, you can continue what you're doing. I'm cure wounding her.
Okay. After a few minutes, they both approach you, and Byron says she's agreed to lead us out of the desert.
All right, hell yeah.
They both kind of approach the door, and as you cure her, they both kind of lift up the braces holding the door shut, drop them to the ground with a loud thud, and open the door. You're immediately greeted with hot, hot wind that just blows into
24
the
health.
cavern. Okay, she's back up to full.
Before we leave, can I investigate to see if there's anything else like hidden treasure or just
Make an
hidden other
investigation check.
passageways? 15.
15.
Yeah.
Shit, you know what? I just
Um,
realized. What does this do? Sorry about that. Continue.
you do a thorough look around of the room. There don't seem to be any other passageways or other chambers, and you do find about 5 gold kind of strewn about the pedestal. It looks like it probably belonged to whoever that person was before they turned into that creature. But that's about all you find.
Alright.
Okay, so the hot wind kind of blows and fills the chamber as sunlight pours in from the outside. As you all exit, you kind of squint in the bright sunlight and you emerge into just an open desert expanse.
All right.
You turn around and you see that it's a natural cavern built into the side of a mountain. And the mountain range itself kind of climbs up and goes off to the east and west.
Which way do we go? Which way do we go?
She points to the east and says, "We follow the mountains that way."
All right.
That's where we'll find Targ. Or we will find Targ. You both recognize this name. This is the small town you both were in before you were kidnapped.
Ah. All right. Sweet. And with that, I will bring another person, and I'll get my thing stamped, and Tara will love me. I said this all in my head.
Okay. As you guys begin your trek, the sun is beating down on you. It's hot. You take swigs from your water jug every now and then, or your water skin. You travel up until about nightfall, and then she kind of looks at you and says, "It's best if we don't travel at night. The sands can be dangerous."
Alright, very well. Let's make camp.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let's see what I can do for us to make our lives a little bit more relaxing. I stand up real quick and I say, "Who's hungry?"
You see Devin, Byron, and the girl kind of sheepishly raise their hand.
Okay. I go ahead and use my 3rd level spell, Create Food and Water, for
Okay.
everybody here.
Okay. You create. It's not like high class food. It's simple food, and a simple amount of water.
And as I'm saying this, I go, with God's miracles, I can go ahead and create anything. Not like a cocky, not like an arrogant way, but as in like a God is there with me kind of feel.
Okay. As you all sit down and begin to eat, the moon kind of rises into the sky. The stars are twinkling. It's very beautiful out. You start a fire, unless you don't want to start a fire.
Do you want to start a fire?
I can make a bonfire.
Okay.
Well, let me look. Hold on. Should I make a bonfire? I mean, it's an actual bonfire, like probably pretty
Wait.
big.
Do we have to make like an
It was
intelligence
a
check on that?
5-foot cube.
You wouldn't
We
have to
have
make
to
an
make like
intelligence check. Make a nature check.
spell.
like in as in like like if we should do it in this kind of area or not, like kind of intuition thing.
You get the idea that you're nestled amongst the mountains. You can kind of find an outcropping of rocks to hide yourselves, and you get the feeling that making a fire wouldn't be the worst idea.
Alright, I'll go ahead and make a
Alright.
bonfire with a conjure bonfire.
Okay. You
There's a spell
twist
for
some
that?
magic, and then in the center of the camp, whoosh, a bonfire just erupts from the ground. It's warm, especially in the cold night air, and it's a welcome sight.
Hmm. Where's my phone?
Yes.
We're taking a long rest, right? Should we have anyone on watch, maybe?
I go ahead and look at the guy who is wealthy and dwarvish. Stand up tall in front of him and say, "Can you please keep an eye out while we take a quick rest? Since we did most of the work and you need us to, keep you from dying?
He nods and says, I can do that.
Wake me up when September ends. Wake me up when there's trouble."
He nods. You both, after a few moments of restlessness, you both descend into a deep sleep. Okay. The night goes by uneventful. You guys are aroused from your slumber as the sun rises. You're both full healed. All your spells are back. Remember that.
All right.
Ow.
You guys continue into the morning as you all make your way along the mountain path towards the city, or not the city, the town.
All right.
After a short while, you see in the distance buildings start to pop up. And you see that Byron kind of gets excited and says, there it is. We're almost home.
Where would the church be located if it's like in the area?
Look. The church would probably be located near the center of town, near the square, because everybody in the town worships. But you both know that from your time in Targ, which was short, you do know that The town itself is a staging place for soldiers, or not a training place for soldiers in the army. So,
Shit. Y'all don't mind me. Yeah, I look like this right now. Give me a sec. I disguise myself as I was before as a dark elf.
okay.
They don't need the doctor. They don't need to find the doctor here.
You guys continue on. It takes about an hour before you reach the town. But as you do, you see Byron's giddy. He's excited. And Vaughn is kind of looking around, just happy to be alive. Vaughn says, he kind of looks at you and says, once you're done with whatever you need to do, meet me at my shop. It's called The Warren. And he kind of gives you basic directions on how to get there.
So, Vaughn's main character. Is the dwarf guy?
Devin. I'm sorry. Did I say Vaughn?
Devin.
Yes,
you
you
said
did.
Vaughn.
My mistake. It's Devin.
Devin's place is called what?
The Warren.
The
He's a
Warren,
dwarf,
gotcha.
right?
He's a dwarf.
Okay.
All right. I hastily take the newly found loved couple to the church.
Okay. Takes you about 10 minutes, but you make your way to the center of town.
I before we start heading out, I look at McNeil. Hey, you want to join us? Bask in God's light.
I'm not joining your cult, if that's what you're asking.
Oh heavens, no! Everybody joins eventually.
But we can travel together for now.
All right.
Okay. So you make your way to the church. As you open the doors, you can see that it's not in the middle of worship, but it looks like a priest is kind of just talking to some locals, just talking to them. He kind of sees you and he smiles and he waves you over.
I whistle back at him. Tell him, I have new recruits.
Okay.
Wait, where did we go to church?
Yes, the Church of
Annie's
Terra.
Church? Oh. By the way, I'm pretty sure that anyone who's pretty close to me can tell that I'm probably a Yuntai.
Yes.
So. I don't know if that's going to bring up any problems in the city. I'm not sure.
You get some strange looks. People are more curious about you than scared of you. It looks like maybe in this area Yuntai aren't seen that often, so they're not viewed as a threat. They're just viewed as an oddity.
Alright.
But people do give you curious looks. As you enter the temple, the priest finishes his conversation and he approaches you and says, "Oh, I see that you've returned. How may I help you?"
I have brought you some new people that would like to bask in God's light.
He kind of looks them over. The girl kind of sheepishly raises her hand and says, "Hello, my name is Cynthia." And the boy says, "My name is Byron." The priest kind of just looks at them and smiles and says, "All are welcome." And he kind of leads them off deeper into the church.
Going to make a note. Cynthia Byron, join cult. Alright, good. This is just a quick note. It's not intentionally saying that this is a cult. This is just me,
Okay.
just, quick noting it.
So what would you two like to do now?
What did the guy say to meet him at his place? Or
At his
whatever?
item shop called the Warren.
I believe the Warren, he said, and he did give us some directions. I'll follow your lead, since I've already completed what I wanted to do.
You
and
said
kinda
we
wanna
can
get
go
paid?
meet him now, though, or whatever.
Yes.
I believe so, you did.
As you two go to
Alright.
leave, you hear the girl yelling, "Wait, wait, wait!" And she kind of runs up to you, and she says, "The cult is still in the town." She kind of says, "I don't know much about who leads it, but he's a very sick individual, and it'd probably be best if someone were to stop him." And she kind of
You know where the location is,
I
and
also want
also
to ask her.
what to look for?
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
she kind of looks and says, "I've never met him. I only went out to the desert cave. I know they have a base somewhere in the town. I don't know where though."
I also want to ask, what do you think I should do with these rings that we got?
She kind of looks at them and says, "Don't put them on. If you die while you have the ring on, you're taken to the leech's domain." She kind of shrugs and says, "There is some benefit to the ring." She goes, "If you touch a dead creature and you exert the ring, you can regain 10 temporary hit points. You can only do it once a day though.
Hmm.
But the trade-off is if you die, you immediately disappear. There's no coming back. There's no revivify. There's no raise the dead. It's immediately you're gone."
By
It,
immediately puts on all 4 rings.
it also requires attunement, right, Logan?
Yeah, it requires attunement.
Attune all 4
I don't
rings on
think
your
the-
fingers.
The reward's worth the risk of not being, especially when we got a fucking resurrection stone Manny over here.
Oh my god.
It's not worth the risk.
Hey, Logan, quickly enough, like, DM-wise, did it surprise you a little bit that I was able to resurrect him by chance or not?
I saw it coming. I know
Oh, you
I know
did?
you're a cleric,
Oh, okay.
but
Okay.
I
was
didn't
just
know
checking.
if you'd waste the spell slot.
Oh. I have no problem wasting certain slots if I feel like the person's
Oh,
important
I
to the
wouldn't
story.
have that. Me, I don't give no fucks about some random kid.
Alright, so that means you are neutral evil. Got it.
No, I'm chaotic
Chaotic
neutral.
good. Oh, chaotic neutral? I was close enough.
Okay.
But generally, my character doesn't give no fucks about anything really. Like he's just whatever.
She says, "I'm not sure where the hideout is, but it shouldn't be too hard to find. They're not very stealthy. But I've never been there myself."
Don't worry, I haven't been so stealthy
I
either.
want
Y'all kind of
to-
spotted us.
Before we head to that shop, that guy's shop or whatever, I want to try and find like some sort of like either magic store or like magic like people who deal with magic.
Well, his shop is a magic shop.
Okay. I guess we'll go there
Uh,
then.
Okay.
Deal. I follow his lead.
It
Oh,
takes you about 5
I-
minutes to find the warren. Go ahead.
I do wave off and to the priest and tell him that I'm probably gonna be gone for a while. I'll probably be somewhere else. Migrating again, passing on God's message. See you then.
He nods. And he says, "I wish you luck."
Thank you, Father.
It takes you both about 5 minutes to get to the warren, which is the magic shop. As you enter, you can see Devin is in the middle of an argument with an older woman, a human woman. She has platinum blonde hair, green eyes, and is wearing a fine red robe, and she's just laying into him. As you enter, however, they both kind of stop. She adjusts herself and disappears into the back room, and Devin kind of throws his arms up and says, "Ah, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you came."
Is that your wife?
He goes, "That is my wife. She's also the
My wife.
co-owner."
I hope she's happy that you're alive and not angry for some reason that you're alive.
She's more angry that I disappeared after a night of drinking. I didn't really get to tell her about the cult part.
Ah,
Probably should have led with that.
I didn't get the chance.
speaking of which, just so you know, we have these special rings that you should never wear, but you should probably show them as proof if you want to.
You kind of hold them.
Nice.
You hold them out. He takes one and pulls out a little a magnifying glass and begins inspecting it. He goes, "I'm not quite sure what this is."
I kind of want to point out they probably should be destroyed. I don't know if your shop could assist in that, or if we need to take them somewhere else.
Oh,
My wife should be able to handle it.
okay. So I don't have to dispel curse. Thank God.
He
I said this
goes,
out loud.
okay.
I said this out loud. Okay.
After a few seconds of awkward silence, he goes, "Oh, I almost forgot your reward." He disappears into the back room, and then he comes back out with 2 small sacks. He hands one to you and he hands one to each of you. He goes, "That's 150 gold each."
Ooh, for a small
Thank you
sack.
very much.
For a small sack, 150 gold. I love that. Oh, right. Igneo, didn't you say you need to do something over here since you're looking for magic?
I want to deal with the rings. That's what I want to get them dispelled or destroyed.
Oh. All
He,
right. All
he
right.
kind of disappears into the back again with the rings. You hear more yelling, and then he comes back out without the rings and says they'll be taken care of.
Let's see. Let me see if I have something
I do
for him.
I do want to come back in the future to this shop, and I'm not saying this to the guy, but I want to make sure that the rings aren't on like
Aren't for
for
sale.
sale. Yeah. So
Okay. He kind of looks and says, "Well, would you like to do some shopping, or are you done for the day?"
Give me a quick sec. Give me a quick sec. Looking for the.
what do you have?
He kind of looks at you and smiles and says, "Well, for the discerning adventurer, I have health potions. I have bags of holding.
Aw.
I don't have much in the way of new magic items, but I do have some old ones that people like +1 swords, +1 shields, stuff like that."
Just all +1 crap.
Yes.
How much is a +1 shield?
Uh, Let me look that up real quick.
I also want to look at martial weapons 'cause I think I might buy me a martial weapon.
At
Oh, I
that
got a
second,
spear.
at that second, you realize this freaking weapon cost you 10.
You asked for a +1
gold.
shield.
Yeah.
It'd run you about 110 gold pieces.
Oh my
Oh.
fucking god. I'm poor.
Same here.
Let me think.
You know,
It would be worth
it's-
having though. If I was to buy this Logan, could I sell it later for the same price, or would it be a cheaper price?
You
to
could
sell back?
you could sell it for cheaper because it's used. You don't know how much cheaper.
Alright.
yo, Warren. Not Warren. Wow, Devin. You know, Devin. You know what helps solve a relationship?
What?
God. God can fix
How
your
much?
marriage.
How much was it again, Logan?
110.
What? 110.
God can
I'm
fix
not
your
gonna-
marriage and make it seem more happier. I can tell that you do have the father of the daughter on you.
Can you cast spells with a shield in your offhand?
Yes, I believe. Let me Google it real quick.
Only spells with somatic components require that you have a free hand. Wait,
I'd
what?
say yes with a shield you could.
As you're rolling, or
As I found it on the internet, it says I'll say for my ruling you can cast a spell.
okay, cool. I'll go ahead and buy the shield.
Okay, so mark off 110 gold, and he gives you it's not a large shield. It's about medium sized. It's made of a shiny polished silver, and in the center it has the crest of the gardener on it, which is just a watering can.
The ugly shield.
He kind of looks at you and says, "Yes, but it'll do its job."
I look over to Igneo and tell him, "That's the father of the daughter."
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm saying the man that created it all, the man that brought it into this world, the one who.
My character just stopped listening at a certain point. um,
I put
I
my
give him
hands
the
on.
gold and I take the shield.
I put my hands on his face and make him have eye contact with me. This is the gardener. And then I take my hands off of his face and walk away.
Okay. Mine, you now have a shield of +1.
Does it point out the AC of it, like bonus?
Mm.
Or do I need to look it up? Logan.
I'm reading it.
Okay.
It gives you +3 AC.
I look at over to Warren and not Warren. Wow.
Devin.
Because I'm half asleep. I know. His name is Devin. I have it written right here and I have the Warren.
The Warren is a shop.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing. I looked real fast at it, and I'm like, I probably gotta be half asleep or something. I look over to Devin and I immediately go to say, all right, so just so we're clear here, Dr. Von Murdoch never was here. If any guards or military soldiers ask for me, and they said, "Hey, have you seen blah blah blah? We need him for the war effort." He was never here.
He kind of nods and says, "Don't worry. I'll keep your secret safe."
Thank you. I liked my days in seclusion for a reason.
So the military is looking for his services.
Or being one of God's chosen and being a great healer, as you can see how I made you all shiny and clean. Yes. Yes, indeed.
Okay. Devin kind of looks at you and says, "Well, is there anything else you'd like to purchase, or are we done?"
I think we're done.
Do you have a med kit?
A med kit?
Yes.
You mean a healer's kit?
Yes. Yes, that's what I mean.
He has some.
How much are they?
It's 5 gold.
5 gold? Alright. I will take 55 gold worth of medkits.
You don't. They don't work like that. It has all the stuff. You could buy one and it would work for a while.
Oh. Okay.
Actually, how much
I'll buy one then.
I want to look at how much hold on. Sorry. Oh, it's two-handed though. Fuck. Need something one-handed.
Would you like this mace?
Preferably finesse.
You could have picked up a scimitar in the cave.
Damn it.
Ooh. Would you like to make a road trip back over there?
Hold on.
Oh.
I'm trying to think. No, because that's too far. It was like a whole day and a half journey. Doing that for a fucking scimitar, whatever.
Thank you for reminding me. Since you said scimitar, well, we were thinking about the scimitar and everything, I just realized. That's right, Devin.
Yes.
There was like one other thing I was gonna ask. I was gonna tell you to do if you could do it for me. I'll give you 1 gold for it since you're a nice person.
Okay.
Who ran away from us, but you're a nice person. Can you please inform the guards that there's a cult in this city that is planning on sacrificing people to their wits beyond, and we need help in the search of the search effort. If they ask who sent you, do not use my name. Do not use my name. I repeat, do not use my name.
He
Use
goes.
Igneal.
He kind of looks and says, "I'll inform the town guard of the cult, but I don't know how much good they'll be. They're more focused on keeping people in line. They don't really take themselves in concern of cults. They're more interested
And
in
just
training their soldiers."
tell them this is training for the war that's down below as well.
He nods. It'll be done.
Alright.
And Miney, you
I think
said
I'm
you're
done
looking
with
for a
what I want
weapon?
to do.
Oh, so how much are great axes? I don't know if I'm gonna buy one. I just want to know for the
Uh,
+1.
A great axe is
Yeah.
30 gold pieces.
+1 though? Didn't he have a +1?
Oh, a +1 would be. Let me check. About 500 gold pieces for a +1.
Oh, fuck that. Okay, never mind.
That could definitely work. Ooh. Light hammers. Okay. I'd like to buy some light hammers now that I think about it.
Some weapons or just a hammer?
Light hammers. Hammers that are light. Things that I can throw at least 20 to 60 feet in distance. Those type of hammers.
A light hammer right here. Each one would cost 2 gold pieces.
Alright. See, I got a total of this much. Let's see, how much do they weigh? 2 pounds?
2 pounds.
Ooh. So I will get at least 10.
10? So that's 20 gold pieces.
Yes. Alright. Light hammer.
I need to look up how much our starting gold was. You know that formula, Manny, or do I?
I don't have it on me at the moment. I think Logan has it.
I'm checking. Starting wealth, you're a sorcerer. It's 3d4 times 10.
No. I'm talking because we're level 5.
Oh. That's in the Dungeon Master's Guide.
Yeah. By the way,
Starting
Neil,
gold 5.
I got a confession to make to you.
Are you talking to
What is
Devin?
No, Igneal.
Okay.
I said Igneal. I'm actually a cleric.
Okay. I kind of figured that when you're you use a spiritual weapon and then you're trying to recruit people into your cult.
It's not as much as a cult as it is a belief.
Me, it's a cult.
You can believe that now, but later you'll be happy. And God's shining a light. Alright. Thank you. I got distance now.
Where did that one chick say that there's like how we find that cult headquarters or whatever? Logan?
She didn't specify at all. She said that there's
She had
somewhere
no
in the
insight
city.
on where. Oh.
She said there were somewhere in
So
the
we're gonna have
city.
Miney, for my campaign, you start with 500 gold pieces plus 1d10 times 25 gold pieces.
Okay,
One-
so Hold on.
1d10.
Let me write that down so I know the formula. 500. Say again.
500 gold pieces plus 1d10 times 25 gold pieces.
1d10. What's my d10?
Times
my-
25. Okay. It's a bit of gold,
here we
so
go.
it's a lot more spending money. Because I only did what was for my first level. I didn't do this yet. So I need a D10 actually. Fuck.
500 times, let's see that. That's 625. Okay.
Damn, that was a low roll. It's okay though.
Damn it. Now I gotta add this and that. Okay, 625 plus 25 right there is 50. 50 plus that is 750 plus the 4, 754. Okay.
You got
Quick
more money
math.
than me because I got 600 and something.
Don't worry, I'm
40
about to lose it.
plus
I'm about to lose it all.
5 plus.
I just
7.
realized, Devin,
652.
I didn't really look at my pockets for a while, and I was thinking, damn, I need to donate some of this money to the church. But since I'm gonna be gonna be back on my pilgrimage of travels and such not, spreading the great word of the God. Do you have a bag that can hold a whole lot of stuff?
A bag of holding?
Yes, I
He
believe that's
did.
what it's
He
called.
mentioned it earlier.
He did. I
Yeah.
must have been in my thoughts thinking of the great goddess Terra at the moment. My apologies. Logan?
I'm here. Say again.
I know. I was wondering if you
He's
had a
asking
bag
if
that
you have
hold.
a bag of holding.
Yes. He has one for 500 gold.
Oh right. I'll take that. I'd like to get that bag off your hands, if it's all right with you.
So you hand him 500 gold. He hands you a bag with the little a watering can symbol on it.
Hmm. Can I use mending to change the symbol by chance?
You can try.
All right. I like to try mending and change it to a halo.
Make a. You know what? I'll say it goes through. You mend it and turn it from a watering can into a halo to match your symbol.
All right. Thank you very much, good sir.
Can he mend mine to put like some sort of like
To make a.
Could he make it more stone-like and then have like a snake on it?
I can try. Give me a second.
The shield is destroyed. No, I'm joking.
I crack my fingers, shake my hands a little bit, and I immediately go ahead and start mending it to see if I can go ahead and do this.
Okay. It takes you about 10 minutes, but you shift the shield around and you turn it from a watering can into a snake that curls around itself. And the shield itself looks more stony.
I'd like to slide a hand also and put halos in the snake's eyes.
Okay.
That look very hard to see unless you're really, really trying to pay attention.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Ooh. Where's my sleight of hand? 17.
17. Miney, are you paying attention?
What would I roll?
Make a perception check.
Fuck. 8.
From your point of view, he's making the shield exactly as you'd like.
Alright.
The eyes just look really intense to you.
Thanks.
Like, you're welcome very much.
Very nice. It looks way better than when it was sold to me.
You can see Devin's kind of got his arms crossed and he's just shooting you a glare.
I visibly have my jaw dropped. Like, wow, damn, wow.
Alright,
Thank you very much, Devin, for everything you've done for me.
He
yeah,
nods.
because he doesn't have anything other magical items, right? Besides just +1s.
Yes.
Alright. I guess we could go. What do you want to do, Manny? Or what the fuck's your name? Vaughn. Do you want to
If
visit a
if
bar
Vaughn
for a little bit? Do you want to?
if Vaughn's hard for you to remember, you can just call me Doc. Doc is always good to
I'll call you Vaughn. Vaughn's fine.
me. All right.
Would you like to go to a bar? Maybe listen for some rumors and
Oh yeah, always up for
maybe
rumors.
see if there's anyone knows about this cult. We can squash this cult a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm always up for squashing something that doesn't represent my god.
Is there a notice board for like contracts and stuff people would like pay for
Make
killing
an
things or?
investigation check.
I want to hit that before we go to the bar. Also, secretly, we just want a quick drink. Yep, 3.
3. You can't seem to find a notice board.
Motherfucker.
I take out of my bag of holding some pamphlets,
Okay.
and I start slowly just placing them in places that would look recognizable and just be good places where people can actually see and take an insight of life.
Okay.
Can I also take some more time to look for a notice board again?
Make an investigation check.
While he's doing this whole entire time, I'm just wasting time waiting for him to
That's
find
much
stuff.
better. 16.
16. It takes you a little bit because you get turned around in the city, but you eventually find the mayor's office, and out front is a giant notice board just covered in notes. You don't know how you missed it the first time.
Wow.
I'll tell
And
you.
you would think you would think for being a bounty hunter I could find these things easier.
I'll tell you how. It's probably because of all the pamphlets.
So I want to just go ahead and like look at the most intriguing, decent paying job. If there's anything that has like maybe magic items that are of interest, I'll take that job. But I also want to scan to see if there's a contract for the cultists or not.
Well, no, you don't have to make a check. There is no one for the cultists. It's mostly covered in recruitment posters for people to join the Hellhounds, which is the name of the army of Heska, or not Heska, Hela.
Oh,
It's an army though.
It's just army. You do find a couple contracts, bounties. One of them is for a smuggler named Arthur.
Logan.
Yes.
Logan, I know that recruitment paper, right?
Yeah, you
I know that
recognize
fully
it.
well. I grab that.
What
I grab that.
Sorry.
I grab the pamphlet and I go ahead and rip it up. Take it outside. Use sacred flame on it, and then put out the fire.
Okay.
Would I know anything of the Hellhounds since I was, from my background?
You both would know that the Hellhounds, the continent itself, about 50 years ago, was invaded by the Hellhounds, who are the army for Hela, a continent to the west. The army itself took over. They completely overthrew the reigning government, which was Dragonborns, and they put their own leader in place. So now the entire continent is basically an offshoot of Hela, and they train and recruit new soldiers here to keep people in line. But you would know that the Hellhounds are what they're called.
Alright, so go back to what you were saying about the contracts. Sorry.
There is a contract, a bounty, one that catches your eye, for a man named Arthur. No last name given. He apparently skipped town after being bailed out of jail, and now there is a 200 gold bounty on his head. Alive.
Anything for dead?
Anything for dead? There is one for a local. A family says that they are being besieged by a hag at night, and if anyone can stop the hag, they'll pay about 100 gold.
Is there a way I can like would I just take a pamphlet or like take off the notice board, or like do I just if I want to take the job?
It looks like you can take it right off the bounty board and take it inside and pick up the bounty.
Yeah. I'll just come back to these later, I guess.
Okay.
We'll go towards the killing the cultist for now.
Before we head out, I'm gonna ask around to see if I can see if they know anything about an enchanter that used to be over further by the Deep Woods area.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
All right. Nat 20.
Nat 20?
Holy shit.
Um,
All right, so the black dice is the lucky dice. It's not the red dice. Fuck you, red dice.
you're inquiring inside or just asking around?
Inside.
They mentioned that they've heard stories of an enchanter in the deep woods, but they don't know of him personally.
All right. That's all I need.
My
to
mic's
know.
not echoing, is it?
No, you're good.
You're solid.
Okay.
I will follow Igneel as we go.
I'm heading to the bar.
Okay. You guys make your way to. I didn't want to open up Discord. You make your way to the bouncing target. It's about midday, so it's not very populated. Most people are out working. As you enter, there's maybe 2 people in the bar.
I place a pamphlet on the front door
Okay.
before we go in. And yeah. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
As you enter, there's 3 people in the bar. The bartender, a man sitting in the back, kind of hooded over, just drinking his drink, and another man passed out on top of a table. As you enter, the bartender kind of waves at you and gestures you to the bar.
I wave back at him and stand still.
How much for a drink?
He goes, 2 copper for a flagon.
I'll give him like 3 silver. Cover like a tab for like the next few days. If that's all right.
He takes it and says, that'll be fine. He goes, my name's Byron, by the way, and he slides you a flagon of ale.
I'm not even over
Hello,
here, and
my name's Igneel. I just take the flagon and I just find a place to sit.
I'm sorry, not
Preferably in the
Byron.
corner.
Not Byron.
I was
Braun.
gonna say.
Was that the name of the kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
I
messing.
was gonna
They're
say,
both.
I thought the name was familiar.
They're both B names.
Yeah.
So
I
what's
take the
his name?
flag and I sit in the corner. Sorry.
His name is
What's his name?
Braun.
Braun. Okay. Continue. I'm
I
sorry.
want to do a perception check to see if I can hear anything about if anyone knows about the cultists or any, like just kind of cultist chatter listening around or whatever.
Okay.
I'll do the same.
Make perception
from where-
checks.
But from where I'm standing.
5.
Holy shit. What's my number? Perception. At least it's a 9.
A 9. You guys kind of sit there. It's quiet. There's not really much talking. After about 5 minutes, though, you see a hooded figure enter, make a beeline for the bar, and start talking to Braun. After
I
maybe
go to sit. I go to sit right next. Sit close by. But act like I'm right now working on a pamphlet that I'm. Act like I'm looking at the pamphlet and reading it.
okay. As you sit down next to them, they look at you and then they scoot farther down the bar.
All right. I still like to hear out.
Okay, make a perception check.
God hates me. 14.
14. You can barely make out their conversation. Actually, you can't hear anything. It's just you hear them mumbling to themselves, and that's it. After about 2 minutes, the hooded figure
Could I make a perception check to see if I can hear them from where I'm at?
make a perception
I'm thinking
check.
I'm pretty far, but dude, I can't roll dice for shit. 7.
7. You can't make out what they're saying.
Yeah, I figured. Dude, I'm
After
really
about 2
disappointed.
minutes, the hooded figure puts his arm on Braun's shoulder, turns around and leaves.
Wait.
I want to
Oh.
tail this guy.
Tail him? Okay. You finish your flagon and you get up.
I just quickly drink my
I
like the rest of it.
I follow suit.
Okay. Are you trying to be stealthy or are you just gonna
Oh,
follow?
I'm trying to be stealthy.
I'm
Actually,
gonna
no.
be
I'm going to cast I'm gonna wait till I can get out, like to where there's no one really in sight of me, like that sees me, and I'm gonna cast invisibility.
Okay.
You son of a gun.
If I
I'm
can,
gonna
I'd like to
stealth.
cast it on Vaughn as well. No, yeah, if I can, I want to cast it on Vaughn as well.
Let me read the spell.
I have to spend a level 2 or a level 3 slot if I have to, or cast it on him as well if I want to. Stop breathing heavy.
That's not me. I can hear it
It's
too.
Logan.
It's me, sorry. From 3rd level or higher, you can target one additional creature for each slot level above 2nd. So if you cast it at level
Ooh.
3, you can turn himself and yourself invisible.
I will.
Okay.
Just whenever I get an opportunity where no one's really like paying attention to us. So we're trying to keep so for now we're trying to keep our distance from the guy, but we're not enough to like lose him, but until I can get us invisible.
Okay. You both make perception checks to see if you can keep a good eye on him.
Thank God. I thought I was gonna get screwed this time.
Dude, a 7.
22.
I'm switching dice and I still roll 7.
What'd you get, Manny?
22.
22?
22.
He hides very well. Miney, you lose sight of him, but Vaughn, you are on him. You see him winding through the crowds, darting through people.
I since I'm assuming that he's invisible to me too, I go ahead and start waving my arm around until I feel him, and I tap him, and I start to move him forward, guiding him.
Okay.
I didn't think about that.
Right? I was thinking about it because we're both invisible.
Yeah.
You guys eventually tail him to a poorer part of town. He eventually comes up to a house. He knocks on it in a specific way. The door opens and he disappears inside.
Were we able to hear that or no?
You can hear it. You guys are with your perception check. You can hear him make the knock.
Like the specified knock, like how
Yes.
it was made. Okay. I can't use disguise self because I just already used it, and I have to wait a whole entire day to do it. Yay for bulbs with a disguise self that you don't have to worry about it being dissipated after an hour. Thank God. I go ahead and move my arm around, go to see if Igneal is by me, and say, "Hey, I just heard how they knocked. It was kind of like tap to the tap 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 tap."
Well, how big of a door is it, Logan?
It's a standard door.
So it'd be hard to squeeze by somebody without touching them
Yes.
if we'd had someone answer the door.
I gotta ask, Miney, does your visibility deactivate if I cast a spell or anything?
Only if I do. Or yes, it does.
All right. I looked on the ground for a rock. It doesn't have to be a big rock. It could be a rock that looks good enough to distract.
Okay.
I do the knock, the special knock.
Okay.
And then I move away far enough until someone can pop their head out. I'm not gonna smack them in the head with it, if that's what you're thinking. No. I throw the rock in a way that makes it seem like somebody is close by, is like trying to sneak up on them, like from the sides or something.
Okay. Make a dexterity check.
All right, straight one.
Straight dexterity.
Oh my God, that was luck. Wow. 21. Nat
21?
21.
Okay. The door opens, a head pokes out, kind of looking around like, where's the person who just knocked? You toss your rock into an alley nearby. The guy kind of hears it. He slowly closes. He doesn't close the door, but he pulls it shut, and then kind of carefully walks around towards the alley.
I go to touch Igneal wherever he is. Hopefully, I'm not touching him anywhere weird.
We're just holding hands the whole time.
We are? Okay. I guess I'll drag you through the door. I'm guessing there's a lock pad, right?
What do you mean?
Is there a lock pad to the door, like if somebody was to lock it from the inside?
Yes.
I'd like to lock them out.
Okay.
Make it into a Flintstones moment.
Okay. You guys sneak inside. You pull the door shut, and you see that there's like a latch that's in a hotel room, where you pull it and it closes.
Yeah.
You do that. As you turn, you're inside a warehouse. There are lots of strewn about crates and boxes, and off in the distance, in some natural light that's flooding in from the windows, you can see about 3 people huddled around a table. What would you guys like to do?
Can we tell what they're doing at the table?
They seem to be just talking.
Are we
I
able
want
to
to get closer.
Are we able to
see
get
if I can
closer?
just listen.
Okay, make a perception check.
By the way, this spell lasts for an hour, Logan.
Okay.
So.
It's only been like 10 minutes.
Yeah. You said make a perception check?
Perception.
All right.
Nat 1.
Shit! No, my dice fell! God damn it, it was the good dice. White! Please don't hurt me. 19.
19? Miney, you can't hear anything. You just hear your pulse thudding in your ears. Vaughn, you can make out, you get close enough that you can understand what they're saying.
Is it possible for me to get close enough to just, like, my passive perception can hear?
You're invisible, so
Not
yes.
possible? Okay. I'm going to do that, because I just can't hear anything from where I'm at.
I'm gonna keep it within the range, because I'm pretty sure I have to be within a radius for the spell to keep on being a constant for me, right?
I don't know. No, I don't think it matters.
Alright then. I'll stay where I'm at for the time being. Because I realize you as a human, you as a Yuan-Ti who did something that caused a shockwave that I don't even know as a spell, caused a lot of people to fly and hurt themselves, and don't want to be within range of kill zone.
Okay. So you both, now that you're closer, Miney, you both can make out what they're saying. They're all hooded. You can't see their faces. But from their voices, it seems like it's two men and a woman. The woman kind of slams her hands on the table and says, "How could this happen? How could our hideout be discovered?" And one of them shrugs and says, "We don't know. The desert outpost was secure. They just made sacrifices there." And then the third guy says, "When I went there, there was nothing left. Whoever came and went took the hostages and killed our men."
And then Mighty, looking over close by, sees the extra scimitar on the guy's belt.
I'm gonna stick with my spear, Manny. But is that it? Do they keep talking, Logan, or no?
Yes, I just took a pause. I'm sorry.
You're good.
They say, "Well, we can always rebuild. We have the numbers, and we have the leech." And they kind of like, one of them raises his hands and says, "Yes, but what if they come after us next? What's to stop them?"
Logan, quickly enough, is this the there's no other entryways and such not in the area that we're in, right?
Make a perception check.
Oh snap! Wow, 9.
9. You don't see any other
Yeah.
entrances, but as you're focusing in on the conversation, you start to hear loud thudding coming from behind you. You see the three figures get up and draw their scimitars. Sorry. Draw their scimitars. And you realize that the guy you locked out is banging on the door to be let in.
As as before anything happens, I go, "Surprise, motherfuckers!" And I cast thunder.
Thunderwave?
Thunderwave.
And then,
Yeah.
I like the
At level
I like
2.
the I like to do Sacred Flame on the dumbest of them all. Okay. Logan,
What?
I'm gonna use Sacred Flame on the dumbest of them all. All right.
Okay.
I don't know which one's the dumbest of them all, but I'm just gonna use Sacred Flame. Hopefully, it's gonna hurt them.
I'm probably gonna one-shot all them, Manny, if they don't save.
I know.
Okay.
Well, Sacred Flame's a cantrip anyway. I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Did you say there was another creature or something, Logan, coming? Or
No.
oh.
As you
Spell
cast
down.
Thunderwave, they have to make dexterity saves, right?
Yeah. No. It's
Con,
Constitution
okay.
saving throws.
1 succeeds. 1 succeeds. And 1 fails.
Alright, let me on my 3d8. 13 damage.
13 damage. 2 of them are blown just clear away from the table. The third one, you said how much?
13.
So he takes half. So takes 7. Yeah, the higher number. You see that
it's lower number, I think.
I'll say higher number just for mine.
Okay.
But you see that the 2 of them are blown away and just they fall to the ground limp, and they start to dissolve just like the other ones. But you see the third one takes the impact, kind of shrugs it off, takes his cloak off to reveal splint armor, and he pulls out a long
Splint
sword.
armor?
Splint armor.
What is that?
I did activate Sacred Flame also. Whoever's alive, I guess.
It pulls out a long sword and a short sword, dual wielding them, and just kind of stares you down because you now are revealed. And that's when I need everybody to roll initiative. But Manuel, you said you
Logan.
wanted to hit with Sacred Flame, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay, go ahead.
He has to make a dex save.
He succeeds with a 17.
All right, I'll roll my damage for him. All right, wow. Let's see. 7, 7, 7. That's 21. So
Oh, it
half of
also
21
sorry.
is 11.
11.
Yeah, a radiant damage.
Okay, so I need initiative from all of you.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Also, the it makes a
Thank God.
it's a thunderous boom audible out to 300 feet. By the way, so I don't know if that matters.
Doesn't it also destroy like wood? Also within the area.
In addition, unsecured objects that are completely within the area of effect are automatically pushed 10 feet away from you by the spell's effect.
Okay, so the table is flipped and tossed away, but the man still stands there, kind of just glaring at you with his swords.
Hit with radiant damage. All right.
Where's my D20 at?
16.
16.
Trying to find my D20. Sorry. Mhm. Dude. Oh, it's on my fucking desk. That's why. Ooh. I got
Also,
6.
also
Oh, no, 7.
he has his sword. He doesn't have his short sword out. He just has a long sword in 2 hands. You said how much?
7.
Okay. Up first is Vaughn, as the man with the sword just kind of glares you both down.
I glare him back down, and I immediately go to cast Hold Person on
Okay.
his person.
What does he have to make?
We'll have to look at it right now. Sorry about that. Let's see. Here we go. Choose a humanoid you can see within range. The person must succeed a Wisdom saving throw, or be paralyzed for the duration. At the end of each of its turns, the target can make another Wisdom saving throw. On success, the spell ends on the target. When you cast this spell using a 3rd slot or higher, you can target 1 additional humanoid. Oh, okay, that's cool. Must make. Okay. Alright, so. Yeah. Cast Hold Person, they have to make a saving throw of something that succeeds on 15.
He rolled an 11 plus 0, so he raises his sword and just locks in place.
Alright. Let's see, is this Hold Person a concentration? Yes, it is. For 1 minute, so that's a total of 10 turns. So I go ahead and move around so I'm behind him, but not like close behind him, but like at a decent distance behind him.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting at. And I will go ahead in my turn.
Okay, that's the end of your turn. It is now his turn, but he's held. Makes his save. That's a natural 2. So he's held again for another round. That's the end of his turn. Igneel, you're up.
Alright, I'm going to. Might use that spell because it's a pretty good spell. Can I tell if he's probably stronger than the other 2 that I killed?
Yes, you can tell he's much stronger.
Alright. Sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Shadow Blade.
Okay.
So I weave together threads of a shadow to create a solidified gloom in your hand. The magic sword lasts until the spell ends. It counts as simple melee weapon. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Okay, so I go ahead and move closer to him, and I go ahead and just stab at him, I guess.
Make an attack roll.
With the sword. It's a 2d8. All right, let me.
Is it with advantage since he's restrained?
Yes.
Or
okay. Also, I get advantage in dim light or darkness, so I don't know if that counts.
The warehouse is dark.
That's better. Okay, so 12 plus your proficient. So I'm proficient with.
Speaking of which,
Okay, so it
roll
has
inside of
finesse.
him.
So
He's a human, right?
plus 1.
He appears to be human.
Appears to be human. Got it.
So is it 13 to hit, or I got 13 to hit?
13 will miss.
Wait, no, wait, it's higher because if we get proficiency bonus, right?
Yeah.
So 16 to hit.
16 still misses.
Damn it.
You go to
Alright.
cut him and it just bounces off his splint mail.
That's the end of my turn.
That's the end of your turn. Vaughn, you're up.
All right. Cool. It's a cool thing that he can't go and actually make a save and throw if he doesn't get hit. I'm glad about that. Wait, I don't think I can actually cast spiritual weapon since I'm concentrating. Can
No.
All right. With that in mind, let's see. I will go ahead and cast Sacred Flame again on him.
Okay. So what does he have to make a save for? Dexterity?
Yes.
That's a natural 3.
Ooh.
So he
All
fails.
right. 7, 8, 15 plus another 7, 22. 22 damage.
22?
Yep, 22 radiant damage.
Okay. It sears into his flesh and you can see him gritting his teeth as he tries to break free. It's his turn again. Let's see if he succeeds. Natural 7, so he fails. But as he fails, you hear the pitter-patter of footsteps, and then bursting through one of the boxes, you see one of those creatures you fought in the caves earlier.
Oh.
And in one of the warehouse boxes?
No, it burst through it.
Yeah. Fuck.
And no, Miney, I do not have Hold Monster on me at all.
Okay. This creature kind of looks around. It sees you, Miney. It rushes you and makes 2 attacks.
Yeah.
That's a 17 to hit
That hits.
and a 17 to hit.
Ooh.
Both hit.
Okay, you take
Fuck.
4 points of piercing damage as it bites into you, and 4 points of bludgeoning damage as it hits you with its tail.
So 8 damage.
So
total.
8 total. That's the end of its turn.
Sorcerers have such low health.
It is now your turn, Igneel.
I'm going to. I'm gonna cast haste on myself.
Okay.
Wait, no, wait, I can't do that. Hold on.
Yeah, I
'cause
thought you
think
could.
That's concentration. Think. Duration. Does it say that is there concentration though? I don't think it's I don't think it's a concentration. Oh, it is concentration. D&D Beyond just doesn't fucking say that 'cause it's shit. Fuck. Okay, I'm not gonna do that then. I'm gonna go ahead and just stab him again with my sword.
Who, the creature or the man?
The man's still affected by a hold person, right?
Yes.
I'm the creature.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Dude, I need to hit with this thing, bro. Dude. I miss.
What'd you roll?
It's 4 plus like 8. I hit an 8.
So 12. You go to cut and it just bounces off the
No,
creature's
no, no,
hide.
no, no. It's I got 8 total.
Oh, 8 total. Yeah, it bounces off the creature's hide. That's the end of your
That's the end of my
turn.
turn.
Vaughn, you're up.
Oh right. I still have the dude held up. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Sacred Flame again on him.
Okay. So dexterity saving throw.
Yes.
Natural 4. He fails.
All right. Well, he lucked out a little bit. 13 damage.
Okay.
Of radiant damage.
You can see him straining against the hold person spell. He's going to try and break free on his turn. That's a wisdom. So a 14, so he fails, and he's still held. That is the end of its turn. It is now the creature's turn. It's going to see that you're not much of a threat, Igneal, and it's going to kind of turn and face Manny, and Manny makes 2 attacks against you. One is a 17, the other one is a 22.
Ooh, they both hurt me.
You take 7 points of bludgeoning damage and 8 points of
Alright.
piercing damage.
7 and 8, so that's 15 in total. Let's see. 8 there. 33. Got it.
Okay. It is now the end of its turn. Igneal, you're up.
Alright, I'm going to how close is Manny to everything?
He is about 10 feet away from the center of the room.
Like, is he like close to the guy and the monster though?
He's close to the monster. The guy is still kind of you're closer to the guy.
Is it kind of metagaming if I ask Manny how much HP he has?
You can't ask.
Well, if you were to look at me, I don't look. If you like, if you're
Well, how much
using your
health do you have, Manny? Like total?
Well, if you're looking at me from like perception wise, I don't look like I'm dying. I'm actually looking pretty
I
decently
just
okay.
want to know your full hit points.
33 right now.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and fuck. I'm gonna go ahead and come up to. So I'm just gonna apologize to Manny. I'm coming up to the guy in between the guy and the monster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cast Thunder Wave at level 3.
Okay.
And then Thunderwave, he gets the guy that is being held has a disadvantage. I'm gonna go ahead and roll for my thing so I can survive. What do I have to beat?
It's gonna be a Constitution saving throw. You have to beat 15.
Alright,
They
good.
both fail.
I got a 17 plus 17 plus where's my Constitution?
So you're gonna take half damage then.
Yeah, I got a natural 20. There we go.
And let
Is
me
that half
see how many
damage?
dice I need to roll. Hold on. Because Thunder Wave is a level 1 spell, and then it gets I think 2d8 more. So it's gonna be 4d8. Yeah, so I'm gonna roll 4d8. I couldn't hit with this fucking sword, dude. I wanted to cast haste on Manny, but I'm gonna cast his Thunder Wave first. Fuck, dude. And I roll low, of course.
That's good for me.
$16 damage.
Okay.
Such a low roll, dude.
So I only take 8 damage. Good. Alright. 3
Both the creature, everybody gets. Manuel grounds himself, and Vaughn doesn't get hit. The man takes the thunder wave, flies back, hits the ground, and then just goes still. The creature takes the hit, flies back, but it hits the ground, then it rights itself.
He goes still. Do you mean he's dead?
Yes.
Alright then, that means my concentration automatically is turned off as soon as he's dead. Good. That means I can do other things now.
The hound is still alive though.
What hound? Oh wait, oh, you're talking about that creature.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know it was a hound. Okay. Now I know.
And that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. Vaughn, it is your turn.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Cure Wounds on myself. I'm gonna
Okay.
just touch myself ever so kindly.
Okie doke.
What
Sensually.
was a little bit, just for old time's sake. Before my days in the church, I think back to my childhood and how much I thought about all the women. And now that I'm just a greasy old man in his midlife crisis, too much of a monologue, too much info to fill up what I'm trying to find. All right, so D8. Okay. 7, 14 plus 9. That is 23.
23 to heal.
Yep. I'm
Okay.
back at full health. Wow.
That's the end of your turn.
No, wait. Isn't using spell bonus action?
No, it's an action.
No,
Action?
it's an action. I mean,
Okay,
unless it specifies it's a bonus action.
Let me check.
What is it again? Cure wounds?
Yeah.
It is a action.
Okay. I guess to save my bonus action, can I go ahead and do a nature check on them?
Sure.
Or is that an action?
I'll allow it
Okay.
as a bonus.
All right. Thank you. Nature is wisdom, right?
I believe.
No, it's intelligence. Never mind. 14.
Okay. You obviously recognize the creature as something you fought before, but you still have no idea what it is.
Oh, disgusting. All right. That's my
Okay,
turn.
it's gonna make 2 attacks against you, Miney, because you're the new threat. They both miss.
All right.
With a 2 and then a 12. So it's your turn, Igneal.
I'm going to. I'm gonna cast Chaos Bolt at
Okay.
the creature. So, and you think I need to roll to hit? Yeah. Does a 13? Does that hit?
That hits.
Nice. So what do I roll?
That's really weird.
On hit, a target takes 2d8 plus 1d6 damage. Choose one.
I have 2 different 8-sided dice, and they're just like set up differently, like as in like where the numbers are set up. Pretty crazy. Sorry about that.
I was just reading my spell. What am I doing? I roll 2d8s and 1d6. Alright, so I'm gonna make it fire damage.
Okay.
It's gonna be fire, and then it's gonna be 9 damage.
Okay. Why does it do that? You
It's actually a cool spell though.
you
Sorry,
stretch
go
out
on.
your hand, and the bolt flies out and hits the creature. That's the end of your turn. Vaughn, you're up.
Yep.
Wait. Do you have to do something real quick, Mighty?
No.
Okay. I cast spiritual weapon.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and deduct from that real quick. All right. Spiritual weapon. It turns into the hammer, and it starts. And you hear in the background, it's tool time. As it comes down, ready to fight, and it makes an attack.
Okay, make an attack.
That's a
Uh.
1d8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Wait. Oh wait. I gotta roll the attack first. Shit. God. Fuck you. Fuck you, dice. 9.
9. The hammer goes to hit. The creature just leaps out of the way. It's now the creature's turn. It's going to make 2 attacks against you, Miney.
Yep.
That's a double 3, so it misses.
Yeah.
So it goes to bite you, and you knock its head out of the way with your new shield. And when it goes to swing, you take the impact with your shoulder, and you take no damage. It is now your turn.
Alright, so I'm going to I'm gonna is it close enough to me? I'm gonna go just stab it with my shadow blade.
Okay.
Let's see. Advantage. Should hopefully I hit with that. 13 plus 4. 17. Does that hit?
That hits.
Nice. Finally. Let me see. 2d8. Yeah. 7 damage.
7 damage?
E.
Okay. That's the end of your turn. Vaughn, you're up.
Yep.
All right. I will cast Sacred Flame, and then I'll attack with the spiritual weapon of Tim Allen.
Okay, so it has to make a dex save.
Yes.
That's going to be a 14.
Nope.
It fails? Okay, so it takes full damage.
All right. Damn it. 12.
12?
Yep. Takes 12 damage of 12 force. Wait, radiant damage. That's from the yeah, from Sacred Flame. Okay, yeah. 12 radiant damage.
Okay. You still have your hammer.
Yeah, yep. And then makes an attack roll, and that's 13. Not gonna hit, right?
13 hits.
Oh my god, it does hit. Thank you. Hammer time. And that is 5 plus 12 total damage.
Okay. You bring your hammer down, and just like the one in the cave, smash, smash, smash it into paste. As you do, the body begins to dissolve and vanish into the ground.
This is gonna be a thing where tool time is the real time. Thank God for Tim Allen's soul.
Okay. So the room goes quiet. There doesn't seem to be anyone left. What would you like to do?
How heavily wounded are you, Ickniel?
Not too bad.
You don't need me to heal you or anything? Not really.
If you have a lower level healing, that I could take that, but I don't want you to waste.
Funny thing about that, that is my lower level healing.
I'll take a healer, man. Why not? You got it.
All right. Alright, that's that plus 7 plus 9. 19 health.
Yep, that heals me full.
God. I gotta say, I'm glad I picked the life tree. I didn't know this was actually the best benefit of it all.
Like shit, I think your lowest roll would probably heal me to full health every time.
Yes, like literally, literally. The effect of the life tree is like, my spell attack plus 2, and then that's also that's what gets added on to my cure wounds, like additional.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's freaking nutty.
Alright, I'm looting corpses, Logan. I'm
Make-
also gonna just
I'm gonna
open some boxes too, just to see if I can find anything in them.
Make an
gonna-
investigation check.
I'm gonna grab one of the cult robes and
17.
I'm gonna
17.
I'm gonna wrap myself in it and go up to the door.
Okay.
Is
Miney.
it still is he still banging on it?
Yes, he's still banging on it.
Okay. All right, continue what you're doing. I'm gonna do what you after you're done.
Miney, you find on on the corpse, or not the corpse, but the robes of the man who survived the thunder wave, the tougher looking guy.
Yeah.
You see that he has a large red gem, a lantern, a potion of some kind, and an elongated tube with some kind of black oil flipping through it.
Alright, so large red gem, lantern, potion of what?
Just a potion, a red potion.
Red potion.
Yes.
And then the last thing was a long tube.
A long tube full of a black liquid.
Does it look like a potion or?
It looks more like an oil.
All right, Logan. While he's doing that, I go up to the door with the cult robes on, and I go ahead and scream out loud, Who the hell friggin' unlocked this? Go ahead and unlock it. Go ahead and open it. Tell him, get in, hurry up, hurry up. We don't want anybody seeing you.
Okay, make a deception check.
Is this with advantage or disadvantage?
With
or
advantage because you're
normal?
wearing the robes.
All right. 16, and then so 16 plus 2, 18.
18?
Yep.
He believes you and rushes inside.
All right. As I'm behind him and everything, I immediately as soon as he gets over towards where Igneal is, and if he's about to draw his sword, I go to pin him down to the floor and tell him you're under arrest.
Okay, make a strength check.
All right. Let's see. I think I have actually. Do I? Oh shit! Wow. Hey, Mighty. I just realized I can actually turn invisible as a bonus action. What the fuck?
How can you do that?
It's because I'm a Firbolg.
Well, that's good to know.
God. Let's see. No. Okay, so I'll just have. It's just a straight strength check on check.
Yes.
All right.
I need to remember to use my meta magic, dude. I keep forgetting sorcerers have that shit, dude. It's like half the
Yeah.
fucking sorcerer class.
So far, this white dice is saving my ass. 22.
22? He goes to pull his sword. You quickly knock it out of his hand, grab him around the shoulders, and slam him into the ground.
I tell him, do you believe in God?
He kind of struggles and curses at you.
Also, as he does that, I'm gonna just start just opening boxes and looking through them.
Okay. You find a lot of unfinished metal. It looks like whatever is stored here is meant for blacksmiths. You find some hellhound armor. Not too nice, but it's got the black and red trim that they're used to.
Logan, in the over to the cultist guy, I whisper in his ear, the bartender snitched on you.
Okay.
Also, does the guy we killed, the strong guy, does he have like, is his armor and weapon worth taking?
It's split mail and a long sword, and a short sword and a crossbow.
Is the what is a split mail? Is it like anything better or?
Let me check the book. Oh, my cord's all tangled up. Splint mail is an armor class of 17, but it gives you disadvantage on stealth checks.
Oh,
I
But
think we should
but that but that
Sorry,
doesn't
what?
affect him if he's invisible, right?
it still affects him because it still makes noise.
Oh, gotcha. Interesting.
What else, Logan?
It's worth 200 gold.
Oh fuck yeah.
Ooh.
We'll take that armor and I'll take.
But
Uh,
put it in the bag of holding it, if anything, since we're traveling together.
yeah, I was gonna say just take the armor and the crossbow and the long sword and put it in the bag of holding. And you said it's just a normal dagger he has.
Short sword.
Oh, short sword. So he has a long sword and a short sword.
Yes.
We'll throw the
Logan.
short sword. No too many.
Wait, wait, what happened? Say it
Are
again.
you gonna
Sorry
put all
about
that stuff in your bag of holding, or do you want me
Yeah,
to
yeah.
write it down?
that. You can write it down, but it's in the bag of holding.
Okay, so splint.
All right, Logan. While he's doing that, he's just like throwing things into the bag of holding. I'm gonna go ahead and try to perform my godly duties, well, my God-given duties, and
Okay.
try to convert him to Terra.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to convince him right here and now. Tell him that you need to turn a new leaf. You need to go ahead and go straight. I'm telling you that, if anything, God, our goddess Terra is the one for you. She doesn't take your life. She gives you your life. She wants everybody to be pure and justly. She doesn't want death for others. She wants to bring you to the light.
Make a persuasion check.
All right. Oh shit, nat 20.
He rolled a natural
This might.
1.
Wow. Like I feel like my nat 20s are so wasted sometimes.
He kind of
Yeah.
goes slack and starts to cry and says, "I don't want to be a bad person anymore."
I look at the ring. How badly is it swole?
It's his fingers like purple and misformed around the ring.
Super
I.
swole.
um. All right. I'm gonna go instead of him like going through agonizing pain to pull the ring off. I will go ahead. Look? Is this considered a curse or just regular magic?
It's
On the
regular
ring?
magic.
All right. I use dispel magic.
Okay. You dispel magic and the ring stops spinning and just kind of goes inert and then slowly begins to dissolve away.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and take the guy and lead him over to the church after we're done looting and everything. Actually, I need to ask him. What's your name?
Uh, Timothy.
Hey, Timothy. All right. I need to ask you, since this is gonna be your new beginning and everything. Do you know where all these other cultists are by chance, or is this like just the main area for now?
He goes, "This was all
Is
of
it?
us. We only had what was here and what was in the cave."
All right. That's good to know.
Question. Who started this cult or have like why is there armor and for the hell is it hell dogs or hell what
Hellhounds.
hellhounds in here?
He goes,
What is all
"This
this stuff for?
it's for the Hellhounds. We just use it as a base. They don't know.
Oh,
Huh.
so there's no affiliation.
Not that I'm aware of."
It's good to
Um,
know.
so you would say, Logan, you would say that most of these boxes probably have just iron and like it's not worth probably going through all these or
It's not worth it.
okay.
You get
I
the
want to go
sense.
ahead and take 2 sets of armor of the health hounds armor
Mm-hmm.
and put it in the bag of holding,
Okay.
and that'll be it.
Okay.
All
And
right.
that's where we'll
I lead,
end for today.
I lead Timothy to the church.
Okay. We'll pick up there next week.